Good morning everyone and welcome to Tollcross International Swimming Centre. This is our third day at the Scottish National Open Swimming Championships. Session 7, our Sunday morning session with all our faster heats. My name's Robert Taylor. I'm with Paul Noble, who was with you yesterday. Nice to have Paul with us again today. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Robert. Yeah, another good day of action. We're looking forward to here in Tollcross. Had a couple of good days, some record-breaking swims over the first couple of days, and it's been great. We were treated to some very close races last night, weren't we?
Yeah, we had some excellent races last night, some excellent B finals as well, Paul. We were trying to outdo one another. I think you had one where there were two swimmers, 0.1 between the two of them. Then the next B final, I had three swimmers with 0.09 between them. And a youngster, a 13-year-old on that breaststroke, got up in the death to snatch the victory. It was great. It was fantastic. And we had well, we'll talk about that after we run through what we've got ahead of us this morning. Very busy programme. We kick off with 400 free for both the men and women. Most of the events have 5 heats. Yeah, that will be an interesting one, that 400 men's freestyle. What's the Jack Munsey, Michael Flynn, and dare we say, Luke Hornsey.
Yeah, Luke Hornsey had a great 1500 yesterday, didn't he? Just to snatch it from Jack Munsey. What a race that was.
That might have been the race of the evening to finish us off. It really just about finished both of us off because we were both on the venues last night, Paul and I, and we had a lot of fun, as we said. Both guys getting under 16 minutes.
Yeah, we were getting a little bit excited about that one.
Yeah.
The voice is still struggling a wee bit this morning.
It is a wee bit, yeah.
At 100 butterfly after that, so again, we'll see some returning swimmers. We saw some great 100 butterfly swims yesterday. Ciara Slauson, Edinburgh University, goes again. She's had a good couple of days, and for the men as well, Ed Mildred, who was a medalist yesterday in the 200 freestyle.
Yeah. Gregor Swinney on the butterfly. He was bronze medalist, so we hope to try and go one better. He's much better on the shorter distances. We'll see how that one goes. Then we've got some interesting swimmers in the women's breaststroke. Katie Goodburn, Katie Robertson, and of course Anna Morgan will be going for a hat trick.
Yeah, a treble of breaststroke titles. She's already got the 200 and the 100, and the men's breaststroke is always interesting, isn't it? Archie Goodburn will be in pole position for that one. He's been performing well in the sprints as well. A good butterfly swim yesterday.
Yeah, he was fourth in the butterfly, and I think he won a B final in backstroke. So he's having a wee bit of fun this weekend, just mixing it up. Nice to see that. We'll have some splash and dash 53 that comes. Archie's wee sister does the breaststroke earlier, and she also has a go at a 53. She's the fastest qualifier for that one. But she's up against Drew Mackenzie, who has been swimming pretty steadily over the last few days. She's actually heading off to Trinidad and Tobago as part of the Scottish team competing at the Youth Games, so wish her well. The men's freestyle, 50 freestyle after that. David Cumberledge, he'll be a strong fancy for that one in that final heat.
Scott Gibson goes again in that one. That record breaker in the 50 backstrokes. Going in the 50 freestyle as well. So we'll watch out, see what he can do. Very swift over the 50.
He was.
He done that 100 backstroke yesterday, and I was thinking he's going to do he's going to just do a touch at the 50 here, because he was going so fast on the first 50 on that backstroke. I think he's just going to go for a split time, but no, he turned.
No, he actually
came back. And excellent time for Scott Gibson there.
Yeah, I think he finished something like 54.71 was his finish time, and half a second outside Gregor Tate's old Scottish record. So
that's a good one, isn't it? It's for a long time, Gregor Tate's record.
So he's getting near it, and maybe one of these days he'll manage to eclipse that one. He's not taking part in that 200 backstroke event. It's probably 100 metres too far for him, to be honest with you, Paul. He'd have a chance for a medal, but concentrating on the shorter distances. We also have a 200 back prior to that. Kathleen Dawson not taking part in that. She's had a couple of golds in the shorter distances. So that maybe opens up things for the likes of Olivia Butler and Ella Shields. We'll see how that one goes. Finishing off, Paul, with some relays. It's not heats, we've been told. Well, it's not.
No, it's heats,
fast.
I think,
It's heats. It's not the first 2 heats, and then we have the fastest one in the evening. We've got heats, so there'll be finals from that. So that's a wee bit different for the final day. So that's what is ahead of us, and we're just about ready to go, Paul. With
first event.
our first event. That's as I say, we've got 400 free. We have 6 heats for the girls coming up and 6 for the guys, and this one has 3 of the para swimmers that you'll know very, very well. In lane 3 we've got Mirren Binney, 14-year-old from Swim IT. In lane 4 Katie Peake, 15-year-old from Carnegie, and in lane 5 Emma Imrie, 16-year-old from South Ayrshire.
Yeah, it's a smattering of para swimmers in the programme this morning. These 3 that go in this first heat. Mirren Binney is in the S6 classification, and Katie Peake and Emma Imrie in the S10 classification. Also got Tony Shaw going a little bit later on in heat 4, and she swims in the S9 classification. So all these swimmers have the opportunity to make it through to the para final.
Indeed.
This evening. So just different classifications. Of course, it's a multi-class event, so the times for the swimmers will be compared against a world record standard time for their own classification. It will be converted into points. So if you hit a world record standard, you're looking at 1,000 points, and we had some in the 800 range last night, so that's
indeed.
a pretty good standard. The likes of Stephen Clegg went in the 800 range. Roisin Ryan from Ireland, one of the visitors here from Limerick, she also hit the 800 point range. Don't expect to see the points for these young swimmers maybe hit those heights, but should be an interesting contest, this one. Katie Peake going off to a good start here. She's really stretching it away. She had a couple of good tussles against her good friend Emma Imrie. They both swim in the same classification, and Emma Imrie got the better of Katie on the backstroke yesterday, just on the touch, and
just no more.
took the bronze medal.
Yeah.
So it was a very close contest, but it meant that Emma was on the podium there. But Katie was on the podium on day 1 as well, and got the better of Emma on the freestyle, 100 freestyle. So I think it's even Stevens between the two great friends and rivals in the S10 class.
But it was nice last night, although Katie didn't manage to get on the podium, she had improved her time in the heats and also improved her time a wee bit in the final, as did Emma. So, sometimes it's not about getting on the podium, Paul, as you know, it's just chipping away those times and improving and getting higher up the rankings.
Yeah, and I was speaking to our mum and dad yesterday. They're here. They've been here for the 3 days. Great supporters of Katie, and they were telling us she was pleased to her freestyle time. She wanted a 125 in her backstroke.
Yeah.
She was 126.1.
Yeah.
So she's just outside. So she's got something to aim for, Katie. And she's been doing some sessions with Hannah Miley as well. Katie Peake, some sessions with Hannah. So she's really benefiting from that, and her and Emma Imrie, great prospects for the future. And of course, not to forget Mirren as well, who's in the lower numerical classification. We'll come back to Mirren at the end of this 400.
Yeah, but it's good to see these swimmers getting the opportunity to swim at the National Open Championships, and as you say, it's a lot of these multi-class swimmers swimming on their time, Paul, so it doesn't necessarily mean that they're only swimming in a heat purely for para swimmers. As you say, we've got Tony Shaw in one of the heats further down, and that's been the case for quite a few of the swimmers. Stephen Clegg, Louis Lawler, and some of these guys are actually making B finals as well. So if they qualify for a B final, they swim in the B final. They don't swim uniquely in their own para events.
Scott Quinn was in the A final last night.
Was he?
For the 200 breaststroke. So
I stand corrected.
Thank you. Yeah, you were right about the B finals.
Yeah.
Scott Quinn took it a step further on his birthday.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And we delighted the crowd by not allowing me to sing Happy Birthday, Paul. So that was another bonus for him.
Yeah, as you said, it's great to see the para swimmers take part, and this championships was one of the pioneering championships, because even I swam in the Scottish National Open back in the old days, when the para events were first introduced. So the Scottish National Open, this championship, was one of the pioneering championships to include para swimmers back then.
That wasn't yesterday, Paul, was it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was last century. But here's Katie Pate. She's swum this pretty well. And let's have a look on the time for Katie Pate. 5:50. I think she's going to be inside that. She's going to come back 49 seconds
40,
there.
Yeah, so another maybe a slightly lower 40 would give her a good 5-second PB at least. Emma's just coming down to the turn now. She's turning in a 5:20, Paul, with a 47 split. So she's going to be pretty close to that 6:07. Might just be a second or two inside that. And they'll get to do it again tonight.
Yeah, well, another chance.
These are not heat declared. The 800 and 1500 are, but all the other events are heats and finals. So great to see Katie taking virtually 6 seconds off her time. So that's a wee marker. Maybe she'll think, can I get under 5:40 this evening?
Yeah, well,
it's
there for the taking. She's certainly in good form. She'll be pleased with that swim. 5:44.94.
Nice finish for Emma. She'll also fancy getting under the 6-minute mark. So good to get us underway with 2 good PBs and very good PBs, Paul.
Yeah, she had she had a bit of energy left there, Emma. I'm not sure she has much energy left now. She almost collapses on the lane rope in front of us there, Emma Emery. But she had a little bit left in the tank there, 42.5 for that last 50. As Merrin Binney is the final swimmer in the water, swim IT swimmer. She's had a very busy programme, swimming in the S6 classification. Of course, the S6 classification where Great Britain have had huge success in recent years. Ellie Simmons, of course, swam in the S6 classification. Ellie Robinson, also a Paralympic champion. Maisie Summers-Newton is the new star of the GB team. So everybody's got a lot of good role models to look up to in her classification. And she was down in the British Championships, British Junior Championships a couple of weeks ago in Coventry. I was down there, and I'll tell you a story about Merrin Binney, because in the warm-up, we were doing the obviously the venue announcing, and the venue had this playlist of music, and they were right good music. I enjoyed the music. Merrin Binney was on the blocks in their warm-up, and her coach was saying, right, you can go now, and she was jogging. She was bopping away to the music. She said, wait, I just like this bit. Her coach was like, go, no, I want to hear the end of this song. Really enjoying herself down there in Coventry. Katie and Emma were down there as well. And they all had a good time, the Scottish team down there. But Merrin's had a very good last couple of days here, a couple of records in the breaststroke events, setting Scottish records. The 400 freestyle, it's a bit more of a tough ask. That's held by Vari Love, who was a Paralympic medalist back in Athens in 2004. So a tough record for Merrin. Let's see what kind of time that she's going to register.
Yes,
it's a little bit for her.
Yeah, a little bit slower in her entry time, but nonetheless gets it finished, and she'll be back for another bash this evening, Paul.
And the para swimmers make their way out of the water, and there's the lineup for the second heat.
Yeah, I think they're missing lane 8. Ellen McPhee has been entered for the meet, but I've noticed that Ellen has not been taking part. I know that from speaking to her family in the past, sometimes she has some health issues, so maybe that's occurred in the last few days. So if that's the case, we wish her well. So we've got 8 swimmers, not 9 in this one. We've got Gina Wren from City Glasgow in 0, Ellen Denny Geary in 1, One of our Masters swimmers who does a lot of open water, Kelly McIntosh in lane 2 from Silver City Blues. 3 is Anna Farr from Telford. 4, Abby Whitfield, Derwentside. 5 is Thea Glenn, City Glasgow. 6, Jessica Powell from Elgin. And 7, Molly Weir from Swim West Lothian.
You do a fair bit of the open water, Robert, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Announcing, commentating on the open water.
Yeah, we've had, I think, Grace Campbell from Portobello who's been doing some freestyle during the last couple of days, and she was the East District 2K open water champion this year, and she was also the fastest East District swimmer in that event, and you get a massive trophy. I think it's the best part of 100 years old, Paul. It's an old silver trophy, and that's awarded to, doesn't matter whether it's male or female, it's just the fastest swimmer that completes that 2K, and in most cases it's a man, but this year it was Grace Campbell, so delighted for her, and she swam pretty well the last couple of days. I'm not sure whether she's going to be competing in one of the later heats, so we just have a wee glance down. Don't see her name, but she might be involved in an afternoon heat. A nice strong start from Anna Farr. Kelly McIntosh, as you can see in your picture, 3 lanes over on the far side. Silver cap of Silver City Blues. That's a Masters team up in Aberdeenshire. She hasn't been doing much open water the last year or two, but she's been competing at the meet today, and it wouldn't surprise me if she either comes down to the West District 1, which is the 29th of July. If not, she'll be at the one in Renfrewshire, the Scottish National Age Group at Open 12th and 13th of August. I'm sure she'll want to compete in that one. That's something a lot of the open water swimmers will look forward to, and if anybody listening in wants to get involved in open water, just look on the Scottish Swimming web page. Remaining dates are there. If you don't want to have a bash this year, it's good fun. It's a wee bit different, very much laid back, and everyone coming along just has a good day out, and if it's sunny, it's a big bonus. One of the regulations in open water is if the temperature's 18 degrees or lower, you swim in a wetsuit. 18 to 20, it's optional. You can actually have a costume, but over 20 degrees, no wetsuits. And that was the case for the one at Monarchy up in the Midlands a week or so back. And because we've had some super weather, it wouldn't surprise me if it will be swimsuits rather than the wetsuits for some of the later events if the temperature of the lochs are that wee bit hotter, Paul.
Well, I'm not sure if I fancy it, to be honest. I like the heated pools, but you know, I've watched the open water, and I saw it at the European Championships when it was in Loch Lomond, and it was, you say it's a very social event, but it was quite brutal in the water. When everybody comes together, there's no lanes or anything like that. You're all together, all vying for position. It was, my goodness. It was a lot of people came out with bruises from that one. 300 gone in this second heat of the 400. Anna Farr leads the way, and she's really stretching out here. 3:31 for her at the 300 mark. She has a lead of about 6.5 seconds over Kelly McIntosh, who's in second, and right in the outside lane, Gina Wren. We saw her have a couple of good swims yesterday, Gina Wren, featuring in the head of the heats that she was competing in. It's generally a good sign, Robert. If we're mentioning a swimmer at the front of the field, that means they're challenging their entry time, and I think the entry time for Anna Farr is going to be under threat, let's say.
Well, she's looks like she could probably improve by maybe about 10 seconds or so. A swimmer from Telford in Shropshire. She's come up for the meet this weekend, and she's been swimming pretty well. It's nice to see swimmers coming up from England and competing at this event. We've mentioned that over the last couple of days, Paul, and it's the swimmers in the north of England always come up, but good to see representation and a cracking time. Well, it's well over 10-second improvement, 4:42.67.
Yeah, great stuff there from Anna Farr. took that one out right from the start. She'll be delighted with that one. Kelly McIntosh, it was in second position, faster than her entry time. And Molly Weir as well, just about bang on her entry time.
Yeah,
just shy by 2/100ths of a second by Molly Weir. It's amazing how many swimmers we had yesterday that matched their entry time exactly.
Yeah.
And Molly Weir's 2/100 shy of that time, but there was about 4 or 5 swimmers who matched exactly the entry time.
Yeah, it was
very incredible.
It was weird, and it wasn't just over a 50. Some of them were over 200 meters, and it was like 0.01, and they actually came on through on a 0.01. So yeah. We'll take a wee note of that, Paul, and see how many we get. Having said that, we probably won't get any this morning.
Well, looks like we've got one empty lane in this one. Lane number 2 looks like it's empty. Cassie Wiper, South Lanarkshire, goes in 0. Eva Gordon from Stirling Swim in 1. No one in 2, but we have Naomi Wilson, Warren DeBass in 3. Georgia Clough from Billingham in 4. 2 from City of Glasgow in 5 and 6. Madeline Patterson and Alice Cumming. Iona Bevan from Nexus in 7. Olivia Colwell, City of Glasgow in 8. And Kirsty Gilmore from South Lanarkshire in 9. Where's Nexus then, Robert?
Nexus, somebody said, was it something like I'm not sure it's Abu Dhabi or something. It's out with the UK.
Oh, I see that.
Oh, it's Aberdeen in Wales, I'm being told. Well, I did get
a bit of a difference between Aberdeen and Abu Dhabi.
I did get the AB right. Yeah.
We have had some swimmers from Dubai. There was Hamilton from Dubai, wasn't there?
Hamilton,
which always used to confuse us. Not Hamilton just down the
Bath,
road.
Yeah.
Let Hamilton Club from Dubai get in there.
Doesn't take
Aberdeen and Abu Dhabi.
Doesn't take a lot to confuse us, especially me, Paul. Yeah.
Anyway, there's no debate about Alice coming from City of Glasgow. We know where that is.
Yeah, she's actually been swimming pretty well the last couple of days, Paul. Just improving on her entry times by the odd second or two, and has been very gutsy in all the events, taking it out very strongly and trying to stick with the pace and being challenged in some of the heats and fighting back, and not necessarily winning some of the heats, but maybe second and thirds. But, she's also made the odd B final, so you never know how this one can go. Madeline Patterson, her teammate, in third. Entry time, I think, from Madeline Patterson, just off the top of my head, 4:48.32. You'll be able to confirm that. I think that was where she finished third at Scottish National Age Groups in that event up in Aberdeen. So it's still Alice Cumming with Iona Bevan from Nexus in Aberdeen in second place. Not much between the two of them. Madeline Patterson and Olivia Caldwell, as you can see in lane 6 and in lane 8, a little bit further back. And Alice 2:20.33 at the halfway mark. He's got an entry time just sub 4:50.
Yeah, looks pretty much on course for that. I think these two certainly at the front of the field. Alice Cumming and Iona Bevan looking like they are pacing their way to a sub 4:50 time, certainly. 4:49 is the entry time for those two. They certainly look like they're on course for that. Iona Bevan just taking it up the running there from 0.2 of a second ahead now of Alice Cumming. Still Madeline Patterson in third place, but it does look like a head-to-head between these two. But just coming down to the 300 mark, so still a little bit of a distance to go, and making a move in. Right in the top of your picture there, indeed. Cassie Wiper in lane 0 is beginning to come back into contention here. Outside lane flyer here, Robert, South Lanarkshire swimmer, 4:51 her entry time. So I wonder if she can do something in this last 100.
Well, there's almost a second in it. I'd still expect Alice to give it everything. As I mentioned, she's been pretty gutsy throughout the meet so far, and she won't want to give this one up, Paul.
Yeah, well, Iona Bevan looking pretty good at the minute, but I wonder what Alice Cummings got in the tank for this last 50. We'll just check the splits here as they go over on this final turn. Looks like the swimmers are closing up very slightly on the two leaders, but it does look like it's going to be 1 and 2 for these two. So 36.77, if they come back in something similar, they're going to be mid 440s, which would be an excellent time for these two.
Far side, Cassie Wiper still in shot. I think she's probably going to have to settle for third. Can Alice Cumming find something a wee bit special? She's still giving it everything, Paul, that's not done and dusted yet. Alice Cumming, as I say, very gutsy swimmer. It's a tight one. Alice Cumming's going to get this, Paul.
Oh,
well, I thought she was going to get it.
Not quite.
I thought she was
Bevan.
going to get that 4-4 back. What another cracking race we're seeing. It's having some exciting contests in the pool over the last few days, and that was another close one. Good race for both the girls, improving on their entry time by a few seconds. And nice to have two girls nip and tuck throughout. Cassie Wiper 4:50.15. She also improves her time just by about a second. So good to see that.
Yeah, so the Nexus swimmer takes that. I'm glad we cleared that up early on, Robert.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. We've got Tony Shaw, as Paul mentioned earlier on. S10 goes in lane 0 from University of Aberdeen Performance. In 1 we've got Natalie Marshall, Swim West Lothian. 2, Canis Mooney from City Glasgow. 3, Mia McLeod, Swim IT. 4, Ola McInnes, Heart of Midlothian. 5, Ella Smith, Borough of Stockton. Our teammate Jessica Thompson goes in 6. 7 is Paige van der Westhuizen from Stirling University. 8 is Evie Mackey from South Lanarkshire. And 9, Grace Noonan, O'Gan Bearsden. Well, a couple of Borough of Stockton swimmers make an appearance in this one in lanes 5 and 6. And they've been competing at a pretty high level. Most of their swimmers are improving their entry times and making some of the B finals. So we'll see how some of these youngsters go. Jessica Thomas in lane 6, taking it out fairly strongly, 31 at that first split. And she got about body length advantage over Evie Mackey, the South Lanarkshire swimmer. 104.43 at the 100, Paul.
Yeah, Borough Stockton, regular visitors here to Scottish events. We've seen them in Edinburgh and here in Glasgow as well, so fairly painless drive up the road for them, I think, from Stockton, not too far away.
Yeah.
And they hit the front of the field, Jessica Thomas and her teammate Ella Smith not too far behind, just in those at the bottom of those two yellow marked lanes. You mentioned Tony Shaw, the para swimmer. She goes in lane 0 right at the top of your picture. I think you said she was S10. That's not correct. That's what it says in the programme, but she is an S9. So not a mistake on the programme there, but Tony Shaw, the S9 swimmer, is one of the world's very best para swimmers, world champion last year. Tony Shaw, and Paralympic medalist as well. Haven't seen much of Tony Shaw this year. She's been out of the water, so just trying to make a little bit of a comeback into the water. It's good to see her back in again. But at the front of the field, it looks like it is the the Borough of Stockton, I should say. Jessica Thomas, who's taken that one. Evie Mackey going well, South Lanarkshire, one of the youngsters in this field. 2 14-year-olds in this particular heat, Evie Mackey being one of them, and Ella Smith in lane 5 being the other. So Jessica Thomas, the 15-year-old, leading them through as they go up to the 250 mark. And we'll just see what kind of splits they get, see if she's extending that lead over Evie Mackey, or if Evie Mackey is closing up. There's not much in it,
Not much in it, yeah, virtually 36 second splits for both of them there. Just a fraction faster than Evie. And coming through now is Paige van der Westhuizen, one of the older swimmers, 20-year-old from Stirling University. That green cap coming through to maybe make a challenge in the final 100. And also the other Borough Stockton swimmer, Ella Smith trying to get into the mix as well, Paul.
Yeah, she was one that had the fastest split on that previous split, but they're all pretty much of a muchness in the kind of low 36s there, all the leading contenders, which means that Jessica Thomas is maintaining that advantage that she has got. Evie Mackey still in second, Paige van der Westhuizen still in third, and just wonder what we're going to get when we get to this top end. Ella Smith beginning to try and make a little bit of an impression on her teammate there. Two Borough of Stockton swimmers, could be 1 and 2 possibly. No, Evie Mackey splits them, but you just see the split there of Ella Smith, a second faster than the other two.
She's got a faster entry time, Paul, so you never know, Paul. She's got 30 metres to go. Jessica's still holding her, but it'd be nice to see all 4 girls, the top 4 under 440. Still advantage with Jessica though, Paul. It's tightening up. Evie Mackey's not done with. Jessica looks as though she's just going to hold on. Our teammate is finishing strongly. Evie Mackey's just about running out of water. Just ran out of water there, Paul. But all 4 of them under the 440. That was another cracking race. Less than a tenth of a second. 4:37.95, 4:38.04. And Ella Smith 4:38.81. Paige van der Westhuizen also under 440, 4:39.54. Well, we've had some good
really
starts.
good on that one.
Yeah, no, a good contest on that one.
Evie Mackey, the youngster, the fastest on that last 50 there, almost sneaked it there.
Yeah.
There's the official result, that is confirmed now. With Jessica Thomas, Evie Mackey, Ella Smith, Paige van der Westhuizen. 4 excellent times there at the front of the field.
Tony Shaw, as you say, just over the 5-minute mark. So
yeah, good to see Tony back in the water.
Of course, she'll be back in the para final this evening.
Yeah.
So we move on to the fifth heat. This is first of the 2 seeded heats. Fastest swimmers in the middle lanes, and we have Hannah O'Connor from the National Centre Limerick. 2, Catherine Renfrew, Perth City. 2, Amy Shields, City Glasgow. 3, Amelia Kane from Ards. 4 is Mary Craig from Edinburgh University. 5, Emma Price, Borough of Stockton. 6, Kaylin Hall, University of Aberdeen Performance. 7, Alice Forrest, Derwentside. 8, Elena Morgan, Stirling University. And 9, Emily Maxwell from Derwentside. Well, we've mentioned Borough of Stockton. We've had quite a number of swimmers from Derwentside, another club that consistently come up and compete at our national events, and good to see them here again this weekend. Strong start by Emma Price on the first 100.
We're into the 2 seeded heats now, Robert, so we see an injection of pace here from the other heats that we've seen. So we've seen the heats just dip under the 440. We'll be looking at dipping under the 430 here, kind of mid 420s with possibly. And these are the ones that will be looking to make their way into that A final. Of course, 10 swimmers making their way into the A final, so you've got to be looking at being in the top 5 here.
Realistically,
give yourself a good chance.
Yeah. Mary Craig is the fastest in this heat on entry time. Runner-up, I think, on the Friday in the 800, and was the top Scot. She was second behind Michaela Glenister, who will go in our final heat. And Mary's been swimming very well over the last couple of years. Nice to see her competing at this event this weekend. And for a lot of these swimmers, Paul, where they're in the middle lanes, as long as they're doing enough, we won't expect them to be bang on their qualifying time. It might be like a 4:30, 4:32 rather than a 4:24, 4:25. They'll do enough to qualify for the final. Then we'll see the fireworks this evening, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're right, Robert. I think 4:30 certainly should be securing a place in that top 10. And these swimmers, quite a lot of them are experienced campaigners. They've swum this a few times. It's not their first rodeo, as you say, but 15-year-old in there, Emma Price in lane number 5, going along very nicely. So
yeah,
maybe less
swimmer.
experienced than some of the others in this field, and She's taking it to the field, isn't she?
She certainly is. Yes. Of course, some of the younger swimmers will maybe go out, maybe different tactics. Their coach will say, right, what I want you to do is this. Can you actually do that during the 400? And they'll have set tactics. Whereas somebody like Mary Craig will know, right, okay, all I need to do is a 4:30, 4:33, 4:35. I'll be comfortably in with that, because the 6th or 7th swimmers, our entry times are the high 4:30s.
Like these head-on shots that we were getting there, just showing the technique of the freestylers, as the hands going in right in front of the head. It's great technique from those two leading swimmers. The youngster there, Emma Price, and Mary Craig, right in those centre lanes, and having a good ding-dong battle here as they go down towards this final turn. Emma Price turned at the 300 on 3:20.99, only a quarter of a second ahead of Mary Craig, and she's kind of maintained that lead, extended it very slightly by 1/10 of a second, and a good turn there for Emma Price.
It was a good turn. It's a question of whether Mary Craig just wants to ease back, which may be the case. I don't think she'll be too concerned. Same with Amelia Kane. She can see, well, I've got two swimmers in front of me. I'm in the final, so even Amy Shields in lane 2 will have done enough. Certainly the first 4, pretty sure, will be back 4:27.40. Well, first 3 are all sub 4:30, and even Amy Shields in a 4:32 and Alice Forrest 4:33.28. They're well clear of the other swimmers who are way back on the 4:40 mark, Paul. So 4:33 might be a borderline. 4:33,
yeah. I do remember yesterday in one of the events, I can't remember what, I think it was the 200, one of the 200s yesterday, that we saw the fastest couple of heats, and the second fastest heats posted a time, but the last heat we got 7 qualifiers for the top 10 in that last heat. So that's the advantage, that this last heat know exactly what they've got to do.
Yeah, indeed.
So not nailed on yet, but Alice Forrest in 4:33. Giving herself a good chance, I think. But there are fast swimmers in this final heat. The line up here: Cara Gordon, Stirling Swim, right at the top in lane 0. Ailsa MacDonald, Edinburgh University. And lane number 1, Phoebe Arbuckle from Warren de Bass in lane 2. Sophie Main, Edinburgh University in 3. Michaela Glenister, who's had a good couple of days, she goes in 4 for Stirling University. Nicole Ricci from Edinburgh University in 5. Susie McNair, the 16-year-old who has impressed us the last couple of days, Stirling Swim, she goes in 6. Rebecca Reid from Aberdeen in 7. Mary Mischenko from University of Aberdeen Performance in 8. And Grace Campbell from Portobello in lane number 9.
I did actually mention Grace Campbell, didn't I, Paul?
You did.
Obviously, she's been swimming a fairly high level at districts as well. That she makes one of the seeded heats. We'll see how she goes. There are actually 7 swimmers entry times that are faster than 4:32. So, you know, it never ever turns out that they swim their entry time, Paul. But potentially, if they did, those 7 swimmers would be automatically into the A final. But you can see how well strung out they are at the moment. Michaela Glenister is taking it out very strongly, 102.08 to start with. No surprise. It'll be a big ask for anyone to be close to where she is. Koriki, the Edinburgh University swimmer, on paper has about 10 seconds to make up. 4:25 against a 4:14. And even Sophie Main, her entry time is also in a high 4:25. So really, it's a practice. It's almost like a swim down for Michaela in this one. She'll just take it out steadily, not push it on too much. But for some of the other ones, they will have to work a wee bit.
Yeah, Michaela Glenister, 21 years of age, but I feel like I've been talking about Michaela Glenister for a number of years now. She's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Michaela Glenister, but she's some of the best form of her life in recent years, certainly. 4th place in the British Championships in this one, so she's there or thereabout on the GB rankings, isn't she?
Yep. Susie McNair, that you mentioned, Paul, only 7th at the moment. We're interested to see whether she picks that up. She's usually a stronger over the second half. She's a lot to do in 7th place if she wants to get into the final this evening, but it wouldn't surprise me if she starts picking up some of these swimmers that are in front of her.
Yeah, she had a very good finish yesterday, didn't she, in the 200?
She did indeed.
That's
I think
great.
she got up to get 3rd place. If not, she was certainly the junior. Yeah, it was the B. Sorry, it was the B final. The B final. Yeah, she got up at the death. By, was it 100th of a second?
I think it was, and to win the B final, wasn't it? And became the junior champion.
Yeah, she did indeed.
Scottish junior champion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great form, and it was. She was pretty much out of contention.
She was.
It really came through in the closing stages, didn't she?
Well, she's still 7th, and she's got about 3 seconds to make up on the 3rd swimmer, Phoebe Arbuckle, the Wonder Bass swimmer. That red cap that you can see just over on the far side, and that's Phoebe Arbuckle coming through very strongly to challenge for some of the minor places. Phoebe will certainly be in the final this evening. Another swimmer who excels over the distance events. Competes in the 100s and 200s, and tries to get into podium positions, but much stronger over the longer events. And you can see stroke coming through very strongly indeed. Nicole Reiki comfortable in 2nd, and then you can have Phoebe in 3rd. Susie McNair making no impact, Paul, so I think she'll be in a B final.
Yeah, Michaela Glenister now into the closing stages here. She's going to be the fastest that we've seen, 4:24.02. That's comfortably inside first to the wall for Michaela Glenister. In 2nd place, it was Nicole Ricci just winning that close touch from Phoebe Arbuckle. Sophie Main and Ailsa McDonald both on the 4:32. So I think it's going to be 5 and 5, Robert. 5 from the previous heat, 5 from this one.
That's what it's going to be, Paul. Yeah, Cara Gordon finishes 4:45.21. So Rebecca Reid on a 4:30, 4:32. I think she'll be the fastest qualifier for the B final. That's the top 10 on your screen there, 4:30, 3:28 as we've called it. And I think 11th, we have Rebecca Reid, Susie McNair. They'll be, that could be an interesting wee contest for the B final.
And of course, this afternoon's heats as well might come into play, because all the swimmers who swim in this afternoon's heats have got a chance of making it into the B final. A little bit of a tough ask.
It's a big ask.
Certainly in this 400, because it's a slower heat, so there'll be around about a high 4:50 the entry time. So
yeah, indeed.
Quite a big drop to make the B final, but you never know. You never know. Some people have done it in other events.
Yeah, they've got to find about 15 seconds. 4:42, I think Grace Campbell was 21st on entry time. But you also get a few withdrawals, Paul, with it being the last day of some of the swimmers, maybe from England, who've got a fair trek home. They may decide, right, I've had my crack at my 400 this morning. I've had a good swim. Right, that's fine. We toddle back down home this afternoon. Yeah. So it's the guys' turn now.
Back to school for a
lot
of the English swimmers.
Yeah, the English swimmers have
another. Holidays have started in Fife anyway.
Yeah, all the holidays finished on Friday for some of the schools. Some of them actually finished the week before. Some of them finished midweek. But our English counterparts, I think we've got the best part another 3 weeks to go, Paul. I think they finished round about the 20th, 21st of July. That's usually 3 weeks after our Scottish schools finish. But of course they don't go back until the beginning of September, whereas we're back in the middle of August. Don't have that worry now to contend with, Paul, thank goodness.
So we're on to the men's event, 400 freestyle. And Fraser McLaughlin leads them out, and 2 para swimmers either side of Fraser. Bjorn Ian and Sam Downey. Bjorn Ian up there in lane number 3. Sam Downey down in lane number 5. So Fraser McLaughlin from Elgin, a 16-year-old. leads them through. He has an entry time of 4:37. We'll keep an eye on the times for Fraser McLaughlin. Sam Downey, he said, swims in the S8 classification. In terms of para swimming classification, S1 to 10 is for those with a physical impairment. We have one more para swimmer who's going to swim in heat number 5. That's Ollie Carter. So he swims in the S10 classification. Sam Downey a couple of classes lower than him in the S8 class, and both Sam Downey and Ollie Carter on their way to the World Championships in Manchester just in a few weeks' time. Just at the end of this month, actually, Robert. 31st of July it all kicks off, and
Yeah.
Sam Downey and Ollie Carter made their debuts. They've got a very similar trajectory in terms of international appearances. Ollie Carter and Sam Downey both made their debuts for the GB team at the World Champs last year in Madeira. Both went on to Commonwealth Games to compete for the Scottish team in Birmingham, and both of them in their second World Championships in Manchester at the end of this month. So we'll watch out for their progress. Wish them well when they get to that major championships. Fraser McLaughlin leads them. Sam Downey in second position. I was just looking at the time for Sam Downey. 4:42.88 is his entry time. Scottish record is 4:39, so I just wondered if Sam might have a crack at that Scottish record. Of course, just a month out from the World Championships, maybe don't expect that kind of record-breaking form. So he'll be hoping to produce his best stuff in about a month's time, so we'll keep an eye on that one. I don't think he's going to break it this morning, but you never know, he might be back this evening.
Yeah, I think for a lot of the athletes, this is just race practice this week for a lot of them, and then they'll probably get tapered near the time for the real stuff in a few weeks' time, Paul. And, Fraser McLaughlin going well with 100 to go. 3:32.29. Got an entry of 4:37. Well, he's going to be a wee bit over that, Paul.
Yeah, probably going to be
maybe about 4:45-ish, or thereabouts.
But Elgin had a good day yesterday. I wasn't here on Friday, Robert. You were here, but we seem to be mentioning Elgin quite a lot yesterday. And a number of the races, they had the very competitive swims yesterday. Well, we've in the afternoon and in the morning.
Yeah, we've had. I mentioned one swimmer, Jessica Powell, that I've noticed very gutsy in all the events that she's been doing. Obviously got a very good backstroke. Well, Lucas Brown is breaststroke, I would say, is his backstroke, but he competes at a lot of the various events, and he's been doing pretty well, and a few others from Elgin also in the mix. So yeah, good to see. It's a small club, and Andy Simmers does a great job over there. Always has done.
Into the finish now, 4:46. We weren't too far away with our guests there, Robert. Fraser McLaughlin. Sam Downey eases in. He knows that he has the luxury of another swim tonight in the para-finals. Just under the 5-minute mark for Sam Downey, 4:59. Bjorn Ian, 16-year-old, South Lanarkshire. He is in the S10 classification, another one who went to those British Juniors.
That's a nice swim from 5:11. Takes a big chunk out of the 5:25 entry time.
Yeah, he improved his time at Coventry a couple of weeks ago at the British Juniors. He was improving his time, constantly, almost every swim that he was in the water. So it's great to see that for Bjorn.
Yeah, we have Bjorn swimming at our district championships in the West. Nice to see him. He competes in quite a number of events, Paul. It's great to see I'm competing again this weekend at the Open. It just gives these guys another opportunity to improve times and get more experience as they go up the swimming ladder. So we move on to our second heat. Looks like we've got an empty lane in lane 8. So we have just the Simmons swimmers. Alex Black from first goes in 1. 2 is Finlay Bruce, Pair City, teammate Cal Mackenzie in 3. 4 is Alexander Wiseman from Syria Stoke. 5, Luke Garrity, Inverclyde. 6 is Tom Liversidge, South Aberdeen. And in 7, we've got Calder Murphy from Carnegie. Times sort of in the low mid 30s here, 4:33.40 to 4:35.99. So we found mostly during the meet, a lot of these swimmers are swimming pretty close to their entry times. We've not seen too many of them taking big chunks off it. Might just be for some of them, they're still got the summer meet, or the Scottish swimmers, so you know, they're probably still in hard training, so that's maybe why we're not seeing great improvements in the times for some of them. Maybe that will change in a couple of weeks' time. Some of them will also be off to British Championships. But Torren Liversidge from South Aberdeenshire, 102.94.
Yeah, nice start there for the 16-year-old. A couple of 14-year-olds in this one. In lanes 2 and 3, Finlay Bruce and Callum Mackenzie, both from Perth City. Both in the red caps there, just to the edge of your picture as you see it, just gone out of the shot. They look like they're well matched, almost in unison there as they come to the turn, the two youngsters in those red caps. But Liversidge in 136.1 has taken the advantage, and ahead of Luke Garrity and Wiseman, and also Alex Black going well up the top there, top of the picture. But it does look like it's the South Aberdeenshire swimmer, Torren Liversidge. There's clear water between him and the rest of the field. He's just gone over there, 34.74 for that previous 50, and look at the gap between anyone else in the field. Look at that, 1.5 seconds. That's why that gap has increased, and it continues to increase, like almost a long loping stroke there for Torren Liversidge. Long arms there for the South Aberdeenshire swimmer.
Well, he's probably pacing a few seconds inside his entry time, whereas we said earlier that other swimmers may well struggle to get anywhere near their entry times. They're well back. You see at the 250 mark, 2:45.17. The gap of virtually 6 seconds. So all these other swimmers are going to be well over their entry times, Paul. Torren's really motoring down the finals, or the penultimate 100. 34.33 that last 50. So we'd expect them coming in round about the 3:20 mark. At 3:20.14. Nice strong finish, might get him the 4:30 pole.
Yeah, he's
every chance of doing that.
Yeah, I think so. He's probably going to be just dipping under that 4:30 mark, that entry time of 4:34.70. So he'll be delighted with this swim if he can just bring this one home. One more turn to go for Torren Liversidge. Second place is Alexander Wiseman, who's picked up the pace. That previous 100 there. Luke Garrity in third position. Alex Black still going well right at the top there in fourth position. But it is going to be Torren Liversidge who's going to take this one home. Getting encouraged on by the coaching staff on the pool side here. They're keen for him to make a big improvement. Is he going to be dipping under that 4:30? I think he might just be in there. It's a nice finish from Wiseman in lane number 4, but it's going to be too late to catch the leader, and he is going to be under 4:30. Look at that, 4:28.67. Wiseman had a very strong last 100, finishing in 4:32, so he'd be pleased with that outcome there. And Finlay Bruce it was in third position, and winning the contest of the two 14-year-olds was Finlay Bruce, ahead of Callum Mackenzie, two 14-year-olds from Perth City.
Nice from there. As you say, the swimmer from Stoke strong finish, improved on his entry time. He was the only other one to improve and turn under the 4:30.
We were talking about the city of Stoke yesterday, the Cossacks. The Cossack on their cap, city of Stoke.
Ah, right.
Something, an athletics club, maybe swimming and athletics club, possibly. I don't know. It's COSSAC.
Ah, yeah,
Cossacks.
of Cossack, yeah. It's not something I've come across, Paul, but
There you go.
yeah, we come across some
Live and
strange
learn.
things, yeah. So to our 38 Enniscow from Geary is in lane 0. Taylor Sinclair from Elgin in 1. Dan Hall in 2. University of Aberdeen Performance 3. Jamie Gilchrist, South Lanarkshire 4. Kyle Mitchell from Geary. 5 is Owen Reid, Billingham. 6 Ross Anderton, East Lothian Swim Team. 7 Alfie Churches, City Glasgow. 8 Ian Mitchell, South Lanarkshire. And 9 Archie MacArthur from Inverclyde. Well, most of the swimmers in the sort of low 420s, high 420s, low 430s, 428 to 431. So out fairly similar split to the previous one. Owen Reid 102.75. Most of the field all fairly tightly bunched at this early stage. Kyle Mitchell in lane 4. And in lane 7, Alfie Churches, Ross Anderton in 6. Those 4 swimmers well bunched. And in lane 1, Taylor Sinclair now coming through to try and get in the mix as well. The Elgin swimmer. Turning in 3rd, it's still on Owen Reid.
Yeah, Owen Reid again, name recognised from the swims yesterday. Had a couple of good events. Alfie Churches as well in lane number 7. Went off very fast in 400 IM, I think it was. Alfie Churches had a big lead in the butterfly. Just pegged back in the closing stages of that one. Taylor Sinclair going well right up there in lane number 1. He's gone into 2nd position now, ahead of Alfie Churches. But Owen Reid in a good position as they go over the halfway point. The Billingham swimmer, another swimmer from the north of England.
Taylor Sinclair over in lane 1, Paul, is beginning to pick up the pace a wee bit now. He's now gone into 2nd. He was 5th at the first 50. He's still got a fair bit to do to claw that back though. And in lane 4, Kyle Mitchell from Geary also making a move. Making a big move indeed. 33.07, took over a 2nd out of the leader's lead. Going to 2nd place. He's got a lot still to do.
Yeah, you wouldn't discount him, wouldn't you? He is making a move, as you said, Robert. He's just increasing the pace. It looks like it's going to be a contest between the 2 in the middle maybe, but maybe Taylor Sinclair's got something to say about that. He's still holding on to 2nd position. Let's check the splits for that one. Yeah, yes. Taylor Sinclair is closed on the 2. Owen Reid and Kyle Mitchell after that little bit of a burst. Kyle Mitchell going up towards the scoreboard in that previous 50. Just dropped back slightly coming down towards the finish end, and it looks like Owen Reid has got the bit between his teeth now and extending that lead.
I feel he's got just left a little bit in reserve here, Paul, for the final 100, and just looks like he's pulling away. This might be about a 33, 33 and a half, whereas 33.87 for Kyle, 35.96. Taylor Sinclair dropping down into 4th. So this is very impressive controlled swim from Owen. He'll certainly be under 4:30, and he'll be the only one under 4:30. Just might struggle to get there. Kyle Mitchell will be close to that 4:30 mark, but nice improvement on his entry time, I'm sure, for Owen. 4:27.07. Kyle Mitchell just outside the 4:30, 4:30.43 and 4:30.65 for Jamie Gilchrist. Nice solid swim there for Owen, Paul.
Yeah, it was very good there. Nice finish in the last 100 there. Took it out strongly. kind of maintained that pace in the middle of the race and was able to come back strong. 4:27.07 for him, and over a second inside his entry time, 4:28.18. We move on to heat number 4. Jack Swindale goes for City of Peterborough in lane 0. Ewan Weir and Ewan Jones, Dundee City Aquatic and West Lothian, going 1 and 2 respectively. In lane 3, Aidan Bruce from Aberdeen. Lane 4 sees Connor Aspinall from East Lothian. Another Elgin swimmer goes in this one. Jacob Wood in lane 5. Oscar Chirnside from Geary. Great 1500 freestyle that we saw him swim yesterday afternoon. Fergus Curry from Mulgai and Bearsden in lane number 7. Cian Lee from City of Peterborough in 8. And Greg Hall from University of Aberdeen Performance goes in lane number 9. And leading them through is lane number 4, Connor Aspinall, just ahead of Oscar Chirnside. What a good swim that Oscar Chirnside had in the 1500 yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, just a shade over 17 minutes, 17:0004, and he was very impressive throughout that race, Paul. Totally dominated it and ended up as the junior champion from the second fastest heat. So the two boys out strongly are swimmers that do a fair bit of open water as well, Paul. And they embrace it. And Conor Aspinall, one of the very few youngsters who does an awful lot of distance stuff. He's much stronger over distance than he is over the shorter events, and that's almost a rarity these days in Scottish swimming. Most of our swimmers are good over the shorter distances. We don't have too many rising stars over the longer distances. Luke Hornsey last night was a joy to see him, 17-year-old, become Scottish national champion on that 800. Oh, sorry, 1500 rather.
His East Lothian teammate here, Connor Aspinall, going very well. It's 3 swimmers kind of lining up there in the centre of the pool. Connor Aspinall, Jacob Wood coming back strongly. Oscar Chirnside still there with that yellow cap of Geary. And as they come down towards the halfway stage, right up at the top there, Ewan Weir getting to make a little bit of a move ahead of Jack Swindale. And Ewan Jones, the birthday boy from yesterday, 17 years of age yesterday, Ewan Jones. He's just behind those leading pack of 6 swimmers. But Oscar Chirnside really looked like he maybe turned it on a little bit as he came off that turn. He's picked up the pace.
Really motoring now, isn't he, Paul? You talked about Elgin as well. Jacob Wood, the Elgin swimmer, now gone second. And what a controlled stroke you kind of feel for Jacob, whereas Oscar really digging in very deeply and giving it everything down this penultimate 100. Maybe has almost guaranteed him the race now. You kind of fancy he's pulling away very strongly indeed. As you see over on the far side, Jack Swindale swimming his own race. Ewan Weir in lane 1. Conor Aspinall also looks very controlled in lane 4. Oscar Chirnside, 3:16.29, has over 2 seconds advantage now, Paul.
Yeah, looks pretty good for Oscar Chirnside here. He's gone ahead of Conor Aspinall. Jack Swindale still right there, right up at the top there, challenging for second position. And Ewan Weir trying to come back on him as well. But it does look like Oscar Chirnside, as soon as they got to the halfway point, Oscar Chirnside just picked up the pace. And that's taken him into a big lead. He's gone 33.3 there. Just slightly increasing that lead over Jack Swindale and Conor Aspinall. But I think, Robert, he's done the hard work on that third 100, and that's going to see him in pole position here when they come to the finish.
Yeah, I think that he's going to come in pretty close to 420. Might even sneak under that if he can find something special. Maybe not quite, but it's been a very, very solid swim from the Geary lad. 4:22.32. Swindale just hangs on from Ewan Weir. 4:24.40, 4:24.43. There's nothing in it over that far side. And Conor Aspel, I'm sure Conor will be pretty happy with a 4:26.50. Nice steady swim at this stage of the season. Oscar Churnside, 4:24.28 entry time, improves by a couple of seconds. Jack Swindale and Ewan Weir also improved by a second or so. So another good race to have us looking at this morning.
Yeah, well done there, Oscar Churnside. Good swim there in the second half, taking him clear of the field. And nice improvement on the time. Here's heat number 5 now, first of the seeded heat, so should see the pace increasing here. Don't think we have anyone, although we do have a swimmer in line 0, just under the water. I didn't see Orlando Deering there. Spent a lot of time under the water there. Good start from him. He goes in lane 0, City of Peterborough. Ollie Carter, the para swimmer, on his way to the World Champs at the end of this month. He goes in lane number 1, Stirling University. Jack Simpson, South Lanarkshire in 2. Luke Hornsey, fresh, if that's the word, from his win in the 1500 yesterday. He goes in 3. Michael Flynn, City of Glasgow, also a medalist in the 1500 yesterday. He goes in 4. Arthur Logan in 5 from Edinburgh Uni. Dennis O'Brien from Limerick goes in lane 6. Ben McLaughlin from Geary, he goes in lane number 7. Daniel Moyes is in 8 from City of Peterborough. And Thomas Traynor, who's also a junior winner, he goes in lane number 9. Thomas Traynor won the junior title in,
He did.
was it one of the sprint events yesterday?
Now, I'm not sure what to think in this one, Paul. It is a heat, but Luke Hornsey has an entry time of 4:01.83. He's gone out on a 56.91. Got a 30.5 there. Another 30.5 would bring him in at 1:58. Another couple of 30.5s is going to get him pretty close to 4 minutes. Now, is the target in the heats? He's certainly going to be in the final. We won't have to concern ourselves with that, Paul. But is it a question of, let's see if I can sneak under 4 minutes in the heats and then build on that for this evening's final?
Well, as you said, Robert, it's pretty much guaranteed a place in that final. So, yeah, why not? Why not have a go at it? Give yourself another chance at getting under that 4 minute barrier. We saw a great swim from Luke and Jack Munsey yesterday. Both of them dipping under the 16-minute barrier yesterday, which was great to see. Both of them, of course, just over that 16-minute, and they just dipped under it, both of them. So it was an excellent contest between these two. So he's swimming with confidence, and you know, he's gone for it.
Well, again, at just under 31, so you'd expect at the split something similar would be about a 3:01. Now another 31 would give us I'm doing my maths here, 3:32, but he came back in a 27.66 on a 1500. This is only 400, so I'm sure he could even do a 27. So it's well capable. There's a race within a race. The other 3 boys further back: Michael Flynn, Arthur Logan, Dennis O'Brien. It's all about jockeying for position, I think, here, Paul. They'll also be in the A final. Luke Hornsey, 3:00.84.
Well, as you said, Robert, it depends if he's got the appetite for it in the heats this morning. Is that going to be the target for him, or we're going to see him secured his place in the final and ease back? I hope not. I hope he goes for it.
I think he's going for it, Paul. I'm pretty sure he's had a wee chat. Jamie will have sort of said, look, let's see what we can do this morning. And there we've got a 30.73. Let's see how he can finish. He's putting it together, Paul. 3:45 at the red ropes, which is the halfway mark. It's going to keep him pretty near it. It's nipper tuck here.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. He comes into the last 5 now. Is it just going to slip by, possibly? Oh, it does. 4 minutes, 0.38 for Luke Hornsey. Look at this contest for second place here. Arthur Logan might just get ahead of Michael Flynn and Dennis O'Brien. Great contest for second, third and fourth. All of them around about just under and just over the 4:10 mark. In fifth place is Jack Simpson, 4:21. So one more heat to come. You would think those top four looking in pretty good shape to make that final tonight.
You certainly expect that. And Jack Simpson, 4:21.04. 9 of the next swimmers have got entry times faster than that. So really we should have 6 from the final heat, because they know what they've got to do. Swimmers like Angus Allison, Cameron Travis, Jude Lillard in lanes 3, 5 and 6 should be there or thereabouts, and we'd expect Jack Munsey.
I think we're missing lane 3. I think Angus Allison not there.
No show. It's a pity, because Angus is a good 400 freestyler.
Yeah, cracking IM swung yesterday, didn't he?
Well, Jack Munsey will want to just maybe put a marker down in the heats here. Will he actually want to get under 4 minutes? He's got an entry time along with Cameron Travis, 3:58.12, 3:59.54. Those are the only 2 that are sub 4 minutes on previous form. Munsey's gone out pretty strongly along with Lillard, Cameron Travis between them.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, whether they just settle for a place in that final. They know probably if they're going to be in the top half of this race, that they're going to be secured for that final. Again, 4 swimmers on the 4:10 and below in the previous seeded heat. So it should be fairly comfortable qualification. Jack Munsey going along very nicely there in lane number 4. Jude Lydiard also maybe just about holding this one. They come into the turn there. There's that great head-on shot. In between the 2 leaders is Cameron Travis. He goes over in 3rd position. Lydiard just with that very slight advantage there over Jack Munsey. And they are pretty much on the pace that we saw from Luke Hornsby in the previous heats.
I think they're probably just going to go out and enjoy the swim, not worry too much about the time, and I would think it might be something like a 4:02 finish, just a little bit slower than the previous heat. 1:59.94. Well, we're about a second or so over that previous split, so I think it's just about get out, get the swim under our belt, and back for this evening, and that's where we'll have another exciting final, and you'll certainly have a good one to look forward to this evening, Paul, on the live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's already shaping up to be another cracking race here. Jack Munsey and Luke Hornsby, of course, head to head in that 1500 yesterday. Throw a couple of others into the mix as well. Jude Lydiard looking very good, and he's halfway through or into the second half now of this 400, and Cameron Travis looks like he's going to be there or thereabouts as well. So these 3 swimmers stretching away. 4th position at the minute, just on the edge of your screen there's Joshua Robinson, right, 1 lane up from the top from Derwent's side, just holding off the challenge of Nathan Campbell next to him. As they go over at the 300, Jude Lydiard has a bit of an advantage there over Cameron Travis and Jack Munsey.
Yeah, I think it's just a question to get the job done this morning for those 3 guys. Cameron Travis, though, I think he's decided, right, I really actually fancy winning this. He's picked the pace up a little bit, but I think they'll have done enough. It's a question of whether Cameron Travis really wants to win this heat.
Jack Munsey looks like he's settled for 3rd position here. I mean, he'll still have that 1500 metre swim in his arms from last night, and you know, he'll probably be in not an outside lane, but he's not going to be in the centre of the pool if he finishes 3rd in this one. So Be an interesting one, isn't it?
It
He'll be a threat wherever he is.
Yeah, he could be maybe in lane 7 or something like that. Yep.
Jude Lydiard in there.
In fact, you
Cameron
can see
Travis
just
in there.
how laid back Jack Muncy is. 4:09.81.
4:09 actually. It's probably there was only maybe 1 or 2 swimmers from that previous heat were faster than Jack Muncy, so he's not going to be too far away from the middle of that pool.
Nathan Campbell will be in the final, as will Joshua Robinson. I think that will be the top. The top 5 are certainly there. Not so sure about Owen Williamson and the 4:26. Get that confirmed very, very shortly. Interesting if Angus Allison had swam and gone into that final. That would have been another one to add into the mix.
So there was the result of that last heat, and there are the qualifiers. Luke Hornsey leads the way. Lydiard, Travis, Logan, Flynn, Muncy, big threats in that one. And Daniel Moyes is just missing out on that 4:21. Churnside, the youngster, a good swim there. Will swim in the B final.
Yeah, he will have an excellent chance potentially of getting another junior title under his belt in that one. So that goes through all the places. That concludes their 400 free. So it's been a bit long with the distance events underway, but we speed it up now with lots of hundreds and 50s to follow. 100 butterfly now. 5 Caitlin Freeman, 2 from first. 2 Katie Campbell, Aberdeen Dolphins, and 3 4 Georgina Hawkins for Holthouse Penguins. 5 Abigail Crawford, City Glasgow. 6 Alicia Goodbrand from Ithan, and in lane 7 Ciara Gregg, Holthouse Penguins. So it's just Alicia Goodbrand in lane number 6 from Ithan. Quite nicely, Paul. Question of just keeping the stroke nice and steady throughout. 31.02, she got almost a second advantage at the halfway mark. Times all round about a 109 mark. And on paper there we could almost have a dead heat, but Alicia's gone very nicely down the final stretch, pulling away from the rest of the field. All very close behind her. Abigail and Katie perhaps in 4 and in 5 and 3 for the minor places, but no doubt about Alicia's victory in this one. Very much on her entry time, 109.32. Katie Campbell takes second, 110.71. At third place, Abigail Crawford finishes in a 111.56. So a nice swim there for the winner there.
It was a close contest, wasn't it?
It was pretty close for the minor places.
Yeah, 5 swimmers almost all in contention for those places. As we move into the second heat, there was the lineup. Nadine Wilson from Borough of Stockton in 0. Evie Mackey back in the water again in lane number 1. Roisin Ryan, the visually impaired para swimmer from the National Centre in Limerick, goes in 2. Gemma Brown from Carnegie in 3. Georgia Dickey from Dumfries in 4. Alexandra Miller from Falthouse in 5. Leonie Young from Billingham in 6. Alice Ward, Borough of Stockton in 7. Lauren Anderson, West Lothian in lane number 8. And Rebecca Matthewson from Edinburgh University goes in lane number 9.
Machine going pretty well, but it's Alexandra Miller, Paul, with the advantage. 31.15.
Yeah, not much in it at all between all the swimmers there. Roisin Ryan's one of the top para swimmers in the world, the World Championship medalist in this 100 butterfly, just 2 lanes from the top. Visually impaired swimmer, she had partial vision, swims in the S13 classification, and she looking good in the closing stages. Might just take this one. Roisin Ryan from Limerick really kind of burst on the scene during COVID, really. We only saw her virtually. She took part in a couple of these virtual competitions where she swam at her home pool and submitted swims in, and all the swims from all over the world were compared in one of these World Para Series Race the World event, it was called, and that was the first time I came across Roshini Ryan. That's a good time from her to take that heat. The Irish swimmer, she'll be pleased with her performances here as she ramps up for the World Championships a little bit later in this month.
So move on to heat number 3. 0, Morven Adams, Dundee City Aquatics. 1, Steve Mayer, South Ayrshire. 2, Megan Donovan, City of Peterborough. 3, Becky Watson, Borough of Stockton. 4, Drew Mackenzie, City Glasgow. 5, Andrea Cox, Dundee City Aquatics. 6, Abigail Stamp from Edinburgh University. 7, Kiana Kurtza, Wander Bass Club. 8, Zara Kravitz, East Lothian Swim Team. And 9, Catherine Bodie from Geary. This is the first of the seeded heats, heat number 3. So no surprise to see the middle lanes, Drew Mackenzie being challenged though by Becky Watson, Borough Stockton 17-year-old, going well. And she just takes that at the split, 29.89, but not a lot in it at that halfway mark. Nice turn from Drew Mackenzie, puts her in challenging position, but Abigail Stamp well there in lane 6. Drew Mackenzie now just coming through to take it up. Maybe the water having a problem with the camera angle there, but Drew Mackenzie just powering through, very close for second. Drew Mackenzie is going to take this. Lane 5 and 6, I think, pretty close between them. Abigail Stamp in 6 just takes second, 105.36, 105.40 for Andrea Cox. But a pretty solid 104.17 for Drew Mackenzie.
Yeah, came off that turn at the top there, Robert.
Yep.
Really well. Drew Mackenzie take her into the lead there. She wasn't ahead going into that turn. She was certainly ahead coming out of it.
Yeah,
so great
she
stuff.
was indeed. Yeah. So our second of the series heats. In lane 1, 0, Gabriella Leasing, Rain 96. 1, Melissa Mainwaring, Swim West Lothian. 2, Ailey Robertson, South Ayrshire. 3, Coco Coxford, Stirling Swimming. 4, Ciara Slosson, Edinburgh University. 5, Stella McCarthy, City Glasgow. 6, Danielle Farrell, National Centre Limerick. 7, Faith Yuda, Edinburgh University. 8, Krista Wilson, Borough Stockton. And 9, Rosie Liston from City Glasgow.
Yeah, Ciara Slosson has had pretty good last couple of days. Taken a couple of titles in the butterfly event, so she leads, pretty comfortable lead, Ciara Slosson. And the Edinburgh University swimmer has been on great form this last year, and she is looking really good here as she comes down in the closing stages. There's no one else in sight. She might have that sub 60 in her sights here, and she comes into the last few strokes. Is she going to dip under? She certainly is. 59.62, and that is faster than her entry time of 59.66. So great swim from Ciara Slosson. Bang on that entry time, and a little bit of an improvement. That's what we like to see, Robert, isn't it?
Very much so.
Great swim there at the front of the field. She was all on her own, but she will be delighted with that one. 59.62, brilliant.
Swimming third place, Coco Coxford, the 15-year-old, taking third, just ahead of Stella McCarthy in second. Final heat, Bethany Firth and 0 from Ards. 1, Alice Mackey, Happen Lothian. 2, Heidi Wren, City Glasgow. 3, Catherine Renfrew from Perth City. 4 is Lucy Grieve, Stirling University.
I think no 4, Robert. I think Lucy Grieve not taking the start, yeah.
Okay.
And Helen Stoddart as well. So.
Yeah. 5 is Mia Leach, City Cambridge. 6, Orla McInnes, Hartlepool Lothian. As you say, Helen Stoddart, who was the junior winner yesterday, not taking part. 8, Kirsty Breakin, Aberdeen Dolphins. And 9, Zoe Crawford from first. So that virtually almost hands the title, assuming that there's no problems in the final for Ciara Slosson, going sub a minute with no Lucy Grieve appearing. So it's all to play for maybe medals of maybe a bronze nature for some of these girls. And Catherine Renfrew from Perth showing her qualities here, 31.05 at the halfway mark, and the Perth lass is dominating over on that far side. Very tight for second. Alice Mackey and Heidi Wren, I think, second and third. 104.50. Well, that will give Catherine a position maybe around about 4th or 5th on the times we've had. So we'll get that. Here we have Coco Cotsford, Catherine Renfrew 4 and 5, Alice Mackey, the Hart swimmer, in 6th.
It's a pretty close contest there, apart from Ciara Slauson, isn't it?
Yeah. You kind of think that Drew McKenzie did enough to qualify, so she should be a strong fancy, certainly for second. But 3rd place could be anybody. Stella McCarthy, the fastest of the remainder.
Interesting one there, Robert. That Roisin Ní just missing out on the B final.
B final,
and she will be entitled to swim a para final, but she might just
scrape into B final
with the withdrawal.
Withdraw or two. Yeah. So it's the guys 100 butterfly. Jack Milne in lane 0 from University of Aberdeen Performance. 1 Murray Dixon Stirling Swimming. 2 Benji Jeffries South Ayrshire. 3 Andrew Brody from Aberdeen Dolphins. 4 Callum Sinclair Swim West Lothian. 5 is Lily Lawler City Glasgow. 6 Lucas Johnson Aberdeen Performance. 7 Cian Lee City Peterborough. 8 Matthew Brown Aberdeen Performance. And 9 Declan Cassells South Lanarkshire.
Again, you've para swimmers in this one. Jack Milne in 0, Louis Lawler in lane 5, and Declan Cassells there in lane number 9. So Louis Lawler, the Scottish record holder in his classification, just over the 101 mark. He's been headed at the moment by a couple of swimmers here. Murray Dixon going well right at the top, and in the centre Callum Sinclair as well. Might be Callum into the wall first. 59.74 for him. And in second position it was Murray Dixon, just over the 1 minute mark, 1 minute point 26. Lucas Johnson 1 minute point 79, and Andrew Brody 101.02. So Louis Lawler just outside his own Scottish record, another one on the way to the World Championships this month, and 102.01 for him as Declan Cassells is the final swimmer to finish. Entry time of 1:41. It's improved that to 1:29.
Yeah, cracking time.
Oh, that was worth it for Declan Cassells. It's 100 freestyle, 100 fly even.
0 Finlay Nelson Dumfries. 1 Rory Young City Glasgow. 2 Pearse Greening Stirling University. 3 Finlay Club Aberdeen Dolphins. 4 Scott Fleming South Lanarkshire. 5 Mark Upton Billingham. 6 Jay Manners Derwentside. 7 Cameron Creaney Stirling University. 8 Rufus Bennett City Peterborough. And 9 James Batley from Stirling University. This is the second of the 5 heats. And a strong start from Max Upton, the Billingham swimmer. Also going well over in lane 2. Pearse Greening, Finlay Nelson also in the mix. It's Upton with the advantage from Greening. Upton on 26.68, Greening 27.17. And Upton at the moment still looks pretty strong with 25, but coming through very strong in lane 2. Pearse Greening to take it up, and it's Greening that is going to prevail, I think. Looks that a little bit stronger over the final section, and Greening going away from the rest of the field. Upton will get second, and third place looks like Scott Fleming. That is indeed the finish order. That was a pretty impressive swim from Pearse Greening to come through and take that at the death. I'll wait and see if that sneaks him into a B final.
Yeah, big improvement there for heat number 2. 57.76, so giving himself a chance there. We're moving on to the cyclically seeded heats now, the last 3 heats. Ronan Kilcoyne from National Centre in Limerick, Rory McKinnon from City of Glasgow goes in 1, Brodie Gordon Gibson from Warrender goes in 2, Igor Suvalov from Edinburgh University in 3, Jamie Robertson Stirling University in 4. We have Tom Carswell from Edinburgh University in 5, Brogan Hyde and Josh Press, Paul Sterling in 6 and 7, Thomas Maskell and Dermot Side in 8, and Evan Davidson from Perth City, 16-year-old, in the outside lane, lane number 9. So in the centre, it is Tom Carswell. Saw him go very fast over the 50 metres butterfly yesterday, and Brogan Hyde as well had a very good 50 swim, and 1 and 2 in that 50 butterfly last night. But it looks like it is going to be Carswell who's going to lead them home. We'll just have a check on the time. 54.40 was his entry time, and he's looking very good to be somewhere around about that, maybe inside that 54 seconds. Oh, 54.20 for Carswell. McKinnon right at the top, 56.35, and Brogan Hyde 56.93. So 4 swimmers under the 57-second mark, with 2 heats to come, Robert. Probably not all of them are going to make that A final, are they? What do you think? 56 and a half, maybe?
Probably about 56 and a half, yeah.
Maybe even
Maybe
faster.
maybe a wee bit faster
Yeah.
than that, Paul. I think it's a wee bit faster than 56 and a half, maybe 56.3. William Wellington 0, Stirling Swimming. 1 is Stephen Clegg, Edinburgh University. 2, Dean Fern, Aberdeen Dolphins. 3, Brogan McAvaney, National Centre Limerick. 4 is Gregor Swinney, City Glasgow. 5, Tom Bealey, University of Aberdeen Performance. 6, Peter Allen, Stirling University. 7, Callum Rose. 8, Benjamin Chewin, and 9, Mark Innes, all Edinburgh University. Going out very strongly. I think we went into lane 0, Dean Fern, 25.72, but 25.72, Tom Bealey, and Bealey with Gregor Swinney coming through to try and challenge in lane 4, Swinney and Bealey. Dean Fern still well there, Paul, but I think it's just going to be Bealey who's going to shade that from Swinney. Very close for third, maybe lane 7 coming through. Bealey, Swinney, and in 7, Callum Rose, Edinburgh University. 56 and a half, Callum Rose. That, you're right, that will get him probably into the final.
Well, the scoreboard gone blank here,
yeah.
so that's never a good sign, is it,
Never
Robert?
is a good sign.
Just saw Stephen Clegg swim there, and world record holder in his classification, his para classification, visually impaired swimmer. Stephen, world champion in this event, 100 fly, one of his target events, and he'll be going to World Championships later this month as well in Manchester. But when the scoreboard goes blank, we hope it's just a change in time, but they're taking a little bit of time now. It could be a DQ on the way.
Yeah, I suspect it's probably a DQ, Paul.
You're the referee, Robert. You know about these things.
Yeah,
the processes to be followed.
Yeah, it could well be that it might have been swimmers either could have gone beyond the 15-metre mark. The head's got to surface before that 15-metre mark, and indeed Mark Innes, disqualification in that outside lane for a technical infraction. So Stephen Clegg finishing in 7th place in that one. So that might have been the reason. I don't know. I can only surmise. I'll come back to it at the end of this. The last heat.
We don't get to know about these reasons. We don't get to know about them, do we?
Well, I'll try and give you an explanation about all the DQ codes. Anyway, Kieran Lennox 0, University of Aberdeen Performance. 1 is Russ Leslie, Edinburgh University. 2, Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphins. 3, Lewis Maxwell, Derwent Side. 4, Edward Mildred, and Bath University. 5, Ben Carr, Edinburgh University. 6, Finn McGeever, National Centre Limerick. 7 is Luke Shaw, Edinburgh University. 8 is Ian Rose at Bath University, and 9 Adam Strickland, Derwent Side. Well, Ian Rose will want to emulate his wee brother Callum Rose by getting into the final if he can. From lane 8, he's turned 7th. The moment it's Edward Mildred, 24.94, looks pretty impressive. Paul going very strongly.
Yeah, it's entry time much faster than anyone else in this field. 51.79 entry time for Ed Mildred, and that is faster than any of the Scottish swimmer has ever been. Ed Mildred, not a Scot, of course. And he is in a very impressive 53.0. Right at the top there, Ross Leslie in second, and Ben Carr in third position there in 55.86. Doesn't look like there's any issues with this one. And Mildred from there, 53.07, ahead of Leslie, ahead of Carr. Tom Robertson in fourth position. And, well, three of them will make it in there. Well, it was just under the 57-second mark.
Two joint 11s, two joint 15s. And thankfully we don't have a joint 21, 22, 23 or 24, Paul, or we would have maybe been in swim-off territory. Just come back to the DQ possibilities. As I say, on butterfly, when you dive in, you've got to surface before that 15-metre mark. Otherwise, if you go beyond it before surfacing, it is, or it should be a DQ if it's spotted. There are those red markers that signify the 15-metre mark. At the other end of the pool, swimmers have got to touch with two hands together. One-handed touch or the two hands on top of one another are not allowed. So that's something that could have happened. And obviously the arms have got to come over simultaneously, and the upward and downward butterfly kick. But it could have been anything, Paul. Anyway, back to the 50 breaststroke. Ella Wood, Natalie Cooper, Lauren Anderson, Elizabeth Morgan, Jessica Schultz, Shahidat Mohammed, Grace Hannock and Eden Fraser are the swimmers in this one.
Yeah, we might have some knowledge about the Cossacks a little bit later on. We'll see if we've got some of the City of Stoke swimmers coming in later on. But in this one, it looks like this first heat is going to Natalie Cooper, 36.52. And that is a good time from her, improving her entry time by 0.3 of a second. Jessica Schultz in second place, the only other swimmer under the 37-second mark. So good start for this 50 breaststroke. In first of the 5 heats, and the lineup for the second heat. You can see Gabriella Winton and Monifaith in 0, Iona Casapidis from Carnegie in 1, Esme Hall, Borough of Stockton in 2, Abby Thompson, Stirling Uni in 3, Jessica Kirkwood, University of Aberdeen Performance in 4, Maya Cheshire from Elgin in 5, Georgina Hawkins, Fauldhouse in 6, Isla Gilmurray, Dundee City Aquatic in 7, in 8, Ailey MacArthur from Milngavie and Bearsden, and Madison Christophorus in lane number 9 from Aberdeen Dolphin. And not much to choose between any of the swimmers here. Maybe lane number 5, Maya Cheshire from Elgin. Continuing that good run of form for the Elgin club here at these championships. Is she going to get the touch? It's very tight indeed here. 3 swimmers all together.
Esme Hall in lane 2.
No, it is Maya Cheshire.
Fourth, it was Maya Cheshire and Abby Thompson. And Gabriella Winton. Esme Hall in 4th position, a 13-year-old from Borough of Stockton. She was a girl that got up to win that B final last night, Paul, if you remember. She looked a spent force with 10 to go, but she wanted to win it.
Yeah, another one of those cracking B finals that we saw.
Yeah.
Third heat on the way. Leah Bullock at the top, Freya Masson, Katie Simpson. 3 Annas in the middle lanes, Anna Farr, Anna Morgan and Anna Finlay. Lauren Kenna, Millie Shaw, Aoife Brooks and Rebecca Cole. And we are looking at some of the faster swimmers now into the seeded heats. Anna Morgan, as we said, looking to do that breaststroke treble. She goes in lane number 4, the top of those 2 yellow marked lanes, and she has a little bit of an advantage, although Katie Simpson going well in the early stages.
Yeah, she's now pulling through as Anna in the second half of the race, and looks pretty comfortable, pretty strong, isn't she? 33.28. Virtually, in fact, we talked about times, Paul. 33.28. What is her entry time?
Well, 32.28.
Yeah,
so exactly a second.
Yeah.
I thought about that a little bit earlier on in one of the previous heats. Bethany
yeah.
Firth I looked at, and she was at entry time of 106.30, but she went 107.30. I thought exactly the same thing as you, Robert.
Yeah.
But here's lead number 4, Imogen Sargent, Ailey Stewart, Emily McGee, Alwyn Cook, Katie Robertson, Amy McLeod, Katie Galbell, Ella McGeorge, Alicia Goodbrand and Sarah McNaughton. Who's going to take this one? Katie Robertson.
Noemi McLeod at 5.
McLeod.
So we don't have a lane 5, but you kind of think that Katie Robertson on the 50, hopefully she'll pull through and have a good swim. She'll give her confidence for this evening. That is Katie just from Alwyn Cook. It's all very tight inside the final 15. Alwyn Cook coming back at Katie Robertson. And those two, I think, are just going to take that. Looks like Katie Robertson, Alwyn Cook, and probably Emily McGee in 3rd place. 33.30. Just similar time to Anna Morgan.
Yeah, just 2 100s different between the two of them. Anna Morgan slightly faster.
The Goodburn clan coming into the pool now. Hayley Armstrong, Emma Simpson, Lucy Stoves, Louise Edmonds, Katie Goodburn, Amir Doyle, Jasmine Smith, Mel Cannon, Perry Scobie and Holly Clifford. This might actually be Katie Goodburn's number 1 event, 50 breast. Very good all-rounder. I think even she'll probably say, yeah, this is my key one. And she's the fastest qualifier, off to a strong start, along with Louise Edmonds.
Yeah, it's a good reaction time from Katie Goodburn, 0.62, just almost the 2nd fastest reaction time out the whole field behind Jasmine Smith. But Katie Goodburn looking good here in that centre lane. Her entry time 31.64, fastest we've seen so far, 33.28.
Well, this is the fastest one.
Yeah, 32.34.
Full second, virtually faster than the other 2 girls. And that will give her plenty of confidence, having swam so strongly in the heats for this evening. Big Brother will be up very shortly.
Big Brother be watching you, I thought you were going to say. So, I think 33 seconds. It's going to be good enough for me that final. There we are, 34.5 to make that A final. And Emily McGee just missing out there. Ella McGeorge makes it into the B final, just ahead of Freya Masson. But as you said, Robert, we have had withdrawals this week in a number of events, so these swimmers in the reserve positions should still get a chance to make their way into one of those finals tonight, especially on the last day. As you said, some people heading for home. We might see a few withdrawals from tonight, but you never know, do you?
And Big Brother will be coming very shortly.
Big Brother's coming. So 5 heats of the men's now for us to enjoy. There's Kieran Chapman from Glenrothes. Goes in lane number 1. Just looking to see if all the swimmers are there. As far as I can tell, I think they are all there. Adam Hill from Stirling Swim in 2. Lewis Brander from Monifieth in 3. Fraser Dow from Perth City in 4. Finlay Sang from City of Glasgow in 5. Callum MacArthur from Milngavie and Bearsden in 6. And Atanas Ehrenkopf goes for Broch in lane number 7.
Always get
first swimmer we've seen from the Broch.
Well, I always wonder whether I should call them I always call them the Broch. I don't call it Broch, but
Broch Seals, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I always refer to it because a friend of mine, his wife comes from that area, and they classify it as the Broch. So, they know who they are, though, Paul.
It's a good start from the Broch swimmer there. Look at that, 0.45 of a reaction. Wow.
Yeah, well, that's an exceptionally fast reaction time. We'll keep our fingers crossed it was an exceptionally fast and not an illegal.
Not too fast.
Yeah. Going well. Kieran Chapman over on the far side. We almost have a line of swimmers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've not had that so far,
Yeah.
Paul, but there's a wee chance that that might happen.
Yeah. Oh.
It's just about.
Oh, look at that.
Well, yeah. And it was maybe just a wee bit quickly off the blocks for this Knopf disqualification for a technical infraction. And well, we don't know what it was for, but we can almost guess what it might have been for, Paul.
And as a referee, do you look at these reaction times, or
you don't actually look at the reaction times, but the reaction times will almost be a giveaway. We'll come back to that in a wee moment. Archie Smith, Luke Jansen, Gavin Roberts, Liam Gorzinski, Cameron Creaney, Luke Garrity, Craig Shaw, James Gordon, Conor Christophersis and Jacob Wood. That's your second heat, 32.44 to 32.65. So there's very little between the entry times, Paul, and sometimes it makes it very difficult in the heats that are not seeded to pick out the obvious winner. And we've got this again, 15 to go over on the far side. Going well, Archie Smith, Janssen. Might be between those two, but someone I'm sure will come through strongly in lane 4.
Yeah.
Luke Janssen. Luke Janssen, lane 4, and I did get 1-2.
Yeah, well spotted, Robert. 32.37 for Luke Janssen.
And Craig Shaw, 32.60, takes third place. So we move on to our seeded heats. We have in 0, Rory Webster, 1, Jacob Duncan, 2, Conor Massey, 3, William Ellington. I think might be a no-show. Rory Dixon in 4, 5, Rafa Dobson, 6, Marius Gringelis, 7, Jack Mitchell, 8, Ben Swan, and 9, Fraser Tetlow. I think I'm right in saying there's no lane 3, Paul.
Yeah, it doesn't look like William Ellington is taking the start. Had a good swim yesterday, William Ellington, in the 200 breaststroke, but not taking the start in this 50. And again, in the middle, Rory Dixon and Rafe Dobson will be starting as very much the favourites for these ones. Rory Dixon going well here and stretching away from Dobson in lane number 5. No one's going to touch the leader here. Rory Dixon will be into the wall in that time of 28.69. So well done, Rory Dixon. Only 0.2 of a second outside his entry time. Rafe Dobson under the 30-second mark, the only other swimmer under that 30-second mark. So we're looking at sub 30 to make that final.
No, I think a 30.5 will get you in, Paul. A 30.5 will comfortably get you in.
So there's the lineup for this fourth heat. Josh Martin in 0, David Smith in 1, Don Bissett in 2, Charlie Trotman goes in 3, Ross Young in 4, Alex Meyer in 5, Joshua Mitchell in 6, Scott Gibson in 7, Finlay Wallace in 8, and Marcus Blake in 9. Scott Gibson,
Are you saying
record breaker.
Yeah, are you? Yeah, it is Scott. It is the Scott Gibson, isn't it? Yeah, doing a breaststroke.
I think so, but record breaker. He's obviously going on to all the sprints.
Yeah, he's everything. Yeah.
But he's in lane number 7. He started pretty well.
He is indeed.
Scott Gibson. He's right in the mix here at the front of the field as they come down into the last 15 now. And the breaststrokers taking over here in the end. Ross Young in the centre lane here. Charlie Trotman going well in lane number 3 as well. Ross Young will be into the wall, 28.84. And 3 swimmers under the 30-second mark. That's 6 so far.
Yeah, you might be right,
30.
Paul. Yeah, you might be right, Paul. Okay.
Ross Young, 28.84. What does Scott Gibson do? 30.41 for him.
Well, Susie, if you're listening, Big Brother has arrived. And I'm sure the Good Burn clan are either with us or they're listening to us on live stream. So Michael Elsefi in 0, Scott Quinn in 1, Mika Van Blert in 2, Sam Pearce in 3, 4 Archie Goodburn, 5 Usain Cook, 6 Andrew Arthur, 7 Aidan Fothergill, 8 Isaac Hall, and 9 Johnny Martin. Now Katie won the heat, the last heat for the women. Archie Goodburn will want to do the same. Got off to a very strong start. Another good reaction time, 0.63, using 0.61. Best reaction time was Andrew Arthur, 0.58. And here comes Goodburn. She's coming through very strongly in the death to take this one.
Yeah, it's pretty close at the front, but Goodburn will take it in 28.68. That matched that previous heat. 4 swimmers under the 30-second mark. I think they should make their way into that A final. And Scott Quinn, the para swimmer, 31.25, his birthday yesterday. He's not too far away from his entry time there at 31.17.
Well, you
and there are the finalists. 30.18. There we go.
Scott Gibson in the B final. And Scott Quinn also in the B final.
And Finlay Wallace just missing out there in 21st place. We are no swim-offs, I don't think, in that 50 breaststroke, but we do have a swim-off later on, Robert.
We'll bring that to you very shortly.
So that's exciting. How many did we have yesterday? We had 3 swim-offs yesterday.
We had 3 swim-offs, yeah, we did indeed. I will actually come back to the action time in a wee minute, but we've got another 2 sets of 50s, so it's all fast and furious at the moment, Paul.
Yeah, we've got 200 backstrokes in a little while, Robert. We can cover the reaction times then. Oh, para swimmers taking part in this first heat of the 50 metres freestyle for women. And again, the sprinters having another go. And some swimmers we've seen already this morning. Mirren Binney back in the water again. She goes in lane number 3. She's in the S6 classification. Emma Imrie in the S10 classification. She goes in lane number 4. So her have a good swim in the 400 freestyle. Also a good swim yesterday in the 100 backstroke. Tegan Davidson goes in 5 from University of Aberdeen Performance. She swims in the S6 class. And Laura Pilkington from Edinburgh University also in the S6 classification. So 3 S6s in this one against an S10. So Emma Imrie will have the least impairment of all the 4 swimmers in this one, and the swimmers in the S6 class all very similar impairments.
We also have a couple of para swimmers in the next heat, Paul, to look forward to. Talking about swim-offs, we have a swim-off at the very end, so stay with us after the relays. At the moment, Tom Robertson and Rory Gordon-Gibson will be appearing back on the podium for the platforms. 100 metres butterfly swim-off for the men. That will be up and coming later on.
So Emma Imrie goes immediately into lead, as you would expect, the S10 swimmer with the lesser impairment. Of course, it's when it comes to handing out the medals for the para swimming events, it's all about the points, so the times for the swimmers compared to the world record for their own particular class. And generate a points total that if you do a world record, it's 1,000 points. So Emma Imrie looking to challenge that entry time of 35.40, and she's inside that, 34.91. She'll be delighted with that one. Tegan Davidson going well. Her entry time is 40.98, so she's not too far away from that. And Mirren Binney just getting ahead of Laura Pilkington. We saw those two swim in the breaststroke events a little bit earlier on at these championships. So 48.51 for Mirren Binney and Laura Pilkington 49.14. Laura just outside that entry time. She has entry time of 48.80.
Second heat in 0, Abby Kane, Stirling University. 1, Alana MacDonald, Stirling University. 2, Lucy Lucas, Edinburgh University. 3 is Millie Convin from Dumfries. 4, Phoebe Abrickle, Wander Baths. 5, Jessica Kirkwood, Aberdeen Performance. 6, Millie MacArthur, South Lanarkshire. And 7, Shed Mohammed from City of Peterborough. 8, Rebecca Schumann from Stirling University. And 9, Katie Peake from Carnegie.
Yeah, good 400 from Katie Peake earlier on this morning. Abby Kane back in again. Yeah, swam this event at the Commonwealth Games, 50 freestyle for the S13 classification. So
Might not see 30.67 from Abby Kane. Katie Paik 34.93. We'll see if she can improve on that a wee bit, Paul, after her earlier swim. A pretty level start on this one. Lane 8, Rebecca Schlumann. Maybe going well this side. Alana McDonald on the far side in lane 1, really sprinting away. I think she's got this one pretty well wrapped up out of lane 1. Alana in 1, Rebecca in 8. And it might be lane 2. Lucy Lucas, Alana just touched out, 27.94. Alana 29.08 and 29.01. Katie Paik 34.42, 30.20 for Abby Kane. That's pretty good times for both the girls.
Yeah, great time from the two para swimmers there.
Faster than their entry time, so they'll both be pleased with that. On to our third heat. Jade Bailey in 0, Madison Cool 1, Morven Adams 2, Molly Irvin Watson 3, Gabriella Leasing in 4, Katie Lowe 5, Becky Watson 6, Alice Mackey 7, Kirsty Breakin 8 and Eve Mayer in 9. Again, very good start on that far side. So Jade Bailey and Madison Cool. Madison Cool maybe just shades it, but there's not a lot in it with 15 to go. Madison Cool in lane 1 has got this one. Lane 4, Gabrielle Leasing in 2nd, and maybe in 6, Becky Watson. I'm not sure if that is in fact the order. It is the other way around. Becky Watson by 700s, Gabrielle Leasing in 3rd, but no doubt about the winner. Madison Cool 28.22. Very good swim from her.
Close that was there between 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th there. Only about 0.1 of a second between all of them there. And heat number 4 on their way now. Owen Cook, Grace Noonan, Paige van der Westhuizen, Anna Morgan, Kira Steriker, Melissa Mainbury, Nicole Ricci, Julie Dunn, Isla Gilmurray and Anna Finlay. I think we have all of the swimmers in this one. And again, we are into the first of the seeded heats here. Kira Steriker, Melissa Mainbury into the centre lane.
Very strong start there, Paul, from her.
Anna Morgan as well, back in the water again. Looking for that breaststroke treble, of course, and going pretty well here, Anna Morgan. One lane up from the yellow marked lanes there, but Steriker and Anna Morgan into the wall first. Morgan looking the stronger, but who's going to get the touch? It is Morgan, only by 1/100th of a second there. And she did look strong in the closing stages.
She was very strong.
And she takes it.
I thought it was more than a 100th. There wasn't much in it. They'll both be in the centre, I'm sure, lane-wise for this evening, 26.89. So a penultimate splash and dash. Owen Cook has got, Marie Wood, Anna Lawson, Abigail Stamp, Emily Grant, Drew McKenzie, Katie Robertson, Georgina Hawkins, Bethany Firth, Lily Mundell and Faith Uda. Well, Drew McKenzie, Katie Robertson back and a pretty level start. Maybe Katie just a wee bit quicker into the stroke. Drew McKenzie, different styles. Katie Robertson was slightly more of a bent arm, whereas it's almost a straight arm from Drew. And, Katie Robertson's got this one. It's a blanket finish for second. Lanes 3 and 4. And it was Katie Robertson in 5, Emily Grant in 3, Drew McKenzie in 2, 26.79, a wee bit faster. Oh, well, our screen's gone again, Paul.
Oh, no, not again.
The screen on the board, not the screen that you'll be watching, everyone at home, but our screen on the venue has gone blank, which might mean there's trouble afoot. We'll wait for that. Well,
we're okay.
Maybe a problem with times, but 26.79, Emily Grant 27.51, Drew McKenzie 27.63. Just getting third. It was pretty tight, second, third and fourth. Last heat, Emily Maxwell in 0, Amy Hutchison in 1, Emma Scobie, I'm not sure if she's going to be there. In fact, The two older ladies not there, I don't think. Natalie Marshall in 3. Katie Goodburn. Well, Big Brother will be watching you, Katie, I'm sure.
Again.
In 4. 5, Yasmin Hammerline. 5. 6, Mary Mishenko. 7, Natalie Moody. 8, Louise Edmonds. And 9, Imogen Sargent.
It's a quick turnaround for
It
these
is a
sprinters,
quick
isn't it? Katie Goodburn back in the water again. Yasmin Hammerlane will be maybe a little bit fresher than Katie Goodburn in lane number 5. And these two, again, very similar styles there, very similar techniques at the front of that field there. Katie Goodburn and Yasmin Hammerlane, they're going absolutely stroke for stroke here. Hammerlane might just have the edge as they come into the finish. Nothing in it though. And it is 26.71, just slightly faster than Katie Robertson in that previous heat. Katie Goodburn also in the 27-second range there. And these two are going to be two of the favourites for that title a little bit later on. There's the qualifiers.
Nice to see Mary Mishenko make the final. Ukrainian swimming of Aberdeen performance.
Just in 10th place there. And, oh, well, look at that. Tie for 11th, Robert.
I think there's a swim-off coming, Paul, in that one.
A tie for 22nd as well.
Well, we could have, I think there's a few swim-offs coming very, very shortly, Paul.
Oh, well, we do like a swim-off. We had 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
I think we might be in for a similar amount today.
And there's the times for Katie Peake, Emma Embry.
Yeah.
Or Pilkington or para swimmers who'll be back.
It was good performance there. We didn't really have time to cover the performance from Abby Kane and Katie Peake there, and it was good swims from those two. Katie Peake an improvement, Abby Kane just almost on her best time ever. So great stuff from two para swimmers in that second heat.
So move on to the men's 50 Declan Cassells in 0. Ben McLaughlin 1, Finlay Sang in 2, John Mackay 3, Joshua Robinson 4, Magnus Morris 5, Archie Smith 6, Mika Van Vleck 7, and Bon Ian in 8.
We saw Declan Castles have a very good butterfly swim earlier, set that best time from him. In the centre lanes though, Joshua Robinson, Magnus Morris also going well. It looks like it might be Finlay Sang up there in lane number 2. May well just take this one. He's going to be challenged by Magnus Morris though. Oh, and it's a dead heat at the front of the field here. 24.98 for Magnus Morris and Finlay Sang. That was a good contest between those two. And we'll just get confirmation of that result. And we have it, a dead heat for the win there. 24.98, both of those two swimmers ahead of Joshua Robinson. And the two para swimmers at the field.
Nice wee improvement. 30.89 got down to 30.44. Paul, half a second almost.
Great.
And Declan 32.30, 32.56, very much on his entry time. So that's good to see. Next heat is our second heat. Matthew Brown, Charlie Trotman, Max Upman, Liam McLaughlin, Callum Peebles, Jensen Norris, Ryan Ferguson, Evan Davison, Finlay Nelson, Logan van der Molen. 24.75 to 25.13. And good start in lane number 2. Max Upman. Oh, he's flying. Absolutely flying down the first 25. And might well have got this one well wrapped up. Nailed a great start and pulling away. Max Upman in lane 7. And in lane 4. That's going to be your second and third, Evan Davison and Callum Peebles. 24.06, that's a very fast time for Upman. 24.17, 24.95, Davison and Peebles.
Well, that was as clear a win as you will see in a 50 freestyle. And giving himself maybe an outside chance of a B final position with that one, but
you would
a lot
think
of fast swimmers to come.
Yeah, you'd think he's got half a chance. Greer van der Molen, Swalad Talib, Adam Strickland, Jamie Robertson, Thomas Carswell, Scott Gibson, Chris Muir, Finlay Clubb, Harry Sharp, Finlay Strachan. That's 10 in this one. 23.24 through to 24.72, the first of the 3 seeded heats. And all 10 go in this one.
And we saw Carswell go very well in the 50 butterfly, and again Scott Gibson's back in again those two in the centre lanes. Carswell, of course, the Welsh Commonwealth Games swimmer, looks like he has the edge here, going away from Scott Gibson. Carswell's going to be in. Keeping an eye on Scott Gibson next to him, and he touches the wall in 23.54. Scott Gibson in second position there. Good swim from him. Adam Strickland 24.14. Harry Sharp 24.22. And not many under the 23-second
you
mark.
kind of fancy that Upton could be in that A final, because he's third at the moment with 2 more heats to come. Right, 10 in penultimate heat. Vincent Dryatt, Brodie Gordon-Gibson, Miles Lapsley, Ross Leslie, Bruno Kempster, Ben Carr, Gregor Swinney, William Strachan, Conor Massey and Tom Robertson. Kempster and Carr 23.20 and 23.50. Ross Leslie 23.54. And good start from Leslie in 3, just shades it. But, Leslie still maybe just with a fractional advantage. And coming into the final few metres, it's Leslie with the advantage. Gregor Swinney in there. Kempster in second, I think. Not quite. It was Swinney just ahead of Kempster, but Ross Leslie 23.94. Not many people under
no, not at all.
24 mark. So Upton will certainly be in the final, I'm sure. Marius Gringelis 0, Lucas Brown 1, Finn McGeever 2, Rory Dixon 3, David Cumberridge in 4, Rory McKinnon in 5, 6 Adam Ritchie, 7 Lewis Burrow, 8 Dean Fern and 9 Kieran Lennox. Cumberledge winner, I think, of the 100 free earlier.
And
really, this will be a very strong one for him. Oh.
Yeah, Dean Fern back in the water again. The youngster, the 15-year-old, who has been performing really well. He's 1 line up from the bottom as we look at it. But what about that start for Cumberledge? That familiar freestyle sprint stroke. David Cumberledge, Commonwealth Games swimmer, of course, for England, and stretching away, head down for Cumberledge. Have a look at this time, 22.64 for David Cumberledge, just 0.1 of a second outside his entry time, and he will take that one comfortably. Adam Ritchie in second, the only other swimmer under the 24-second mark, with Rory McKinnon 24.08. I think that might be enough for Rory McKinnon to make it into the top 10.
Quite comfortably. Yeah,
there
seventh.
We go. Max Upton in there.
Yeah, quite a way up.
And
no equals yet.
No, not yet. I was looking for
the next run.
Oh,
we have
we
an equal 20.
Equal 20.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Well, looks like at least 3 or 4 swimmers. I'm sure that the team beside us on the venue will be announcing some clubs' coaches to come to the recorders table as they do.
And yeah, I mean it's 50-metre events, Robert. The swimmers are more likely to stand up for a 50, aren't they?
Yeah.
If it was a 400 or 400 IM or something, they might say, okay, we'll leave it. But 50s, I think we're going to get. I think we're going to get full attendance on these swimmers.
I think we will. But I actually had one a couple of months ago, a 400. A swimmer for a 400. Yeah, first time ever.
Well, why not do it?
Yeah.
Get a chance of a second swim.
Yeah, it's a free swim for you. Yeah. On to women's 200 backstroke. In 0, Addison Cole from South Lanarkshire. 1, Tamia Schultz, Dumfries. 2, Taylor Smith, St Thomas. 3, Caitlin Peebles, East Lothian Swim Team. And 4, Elizabeth Morgan, Highland Swim Team. 5, Molly Weir, Swim West Lothian. 6, Abigail Crawford, City Glasgow. 7, Cassie Wiper. 8, Iona Henderson. And 9, Casey Dixon, all from South Lanarkshire. Well, we've got entries of 2:33 to 2:34, and we should have a pretty tight contest, but we never do, Paul. It's always well spread out. Caitlin Peebles, 34.61.
He sounded a bit like ground down there, Robert.
Yeah, well,
But we should have closed it, but we never do.
We never do. They're always one or two are really super fast, and others just unfortunately it doesn't work out on the day, and they're a few seconds outside their time. So.
Because you were going to tell us about the reaction time.
Yeah, reaction time. Usually a reaction time, I usually look at something pretty close to 0.6 of a second as a very, very fast takeoff. So as a referee and a starter, you will have the usual take your marks, and the buzzer goes, and what you're looking for is every single swimmer on the platform being stationary before that signal goes. And you could have a swimmer that just anticipates that mere fraction, and there's a little bit of forward movement, and of course the reaction time on the block, because they're all on the blocks, that might come through as a, say, a 0.3 or a 0.4. There's no guarantee that it was an illegal take-off, but it gives you also an indication. But you're never looking at that at the board to see the reaction time. You're always looking at the swimmer.
Look at that movement.
And that movement.
Well, back to the racing here, and Caitlin Peebles has swum this really well as she comes up to the final stages of this one. East Lothian swimmer Caitlin Peebles, 16-year-old, and she has just been pressed in the closing stages there by Cassie Wiper, but she is in to the wall in 2:31.74, and that's a nice way to start these 200 backstrokes. A second and a half improvement on the entry time. Cassie Wiper, it's entry time of 2:34.10, and she's gone 2:34.17, so she can't complain too much about that one. Timea Schultz in third place in 2:36.75, so it did get a little bit spread out. Robert, you were right.
Yeah, as I said, you know, you've got times that are basically within a couple of seconds generally. There was over 12 seconds gap between first and last, and that's always the case in a lot of the longer distance events. So we move on to our second heat. In lane 0 we have Alexandra Miller from Falthouse Penguins, 1 Emily McDougall from the Highland Swim Team. In 2, Veronika Mikolovieska from City of Peterborough. 3, Alex Coy, Warner Bass Club. 4, Kelly McIntosh, Silver City Blues. In lane 5, Susie Smith first. 6, Natalie Cooper, Warner Bass Club. 7, Libby Doubleday, Stirling University. 8 is Rosie Liston, City Glasgow. And we don't have lane 9, no-show. So times in this one, Paul, 2:30.30 to 2:32.61. So just over 2 seconds. So we're interested to see what the fastest to slowest is in this one. Hopefully some of these girls will get sub 2:30. I'm sure that's the target. Kelly McIntosh, the oldest swimmer in lane 4 on a 2:30.30. Nice to see her competing. As we said, she already had a swim and swam a 400 and improved by about a second on her entry time. Zusia Smith though, 34.73. Zusia, this is probably her key event, the backstroke for Zusia. Swimmer from first.
Yeah, it's pretty close here as they come down to the halfway point. Not much in it at all between 3, 4, 5 swimmers right across the pool. Susia Smith now just being headed by Natalie Cooper, I think, as they come into the halfway point. That red cap of Natalie Cooper from the Warrender Bass Club. It is Smith though, who just takes that turn on 0.02 of a second. Cooper in second, Libby Doubleday in third position, 1:14.68. Emily McDougall, 1:14.89, and Rose Liston, 1:14.95. So, you know, a second, exactly a second, separating the top 6 there, Robert, as they go into this final turn.
But if you watch the leading swimmers, Zusia Smith, much slower arm pull, whereas for Natalie Cooper, she's her arms are over a bit faster, so faster stroke count. And over on the other side, you have Veronica with a similar style to the leader, Zusia Smith. The other two girls, Natalie and Libby, faster stroke count. It's what works for you, that's important. Veronica, I think, maybe just is level and maybe just gone ahead here, Paul, in the final stage.
Yeah, it does look like Veronica Miklajewska might just get the touch here. It's been a good last 50 for her, and she will take that one in 2:32.15, just 0.37 away from her entry time. But she will take that heat in second position. It was Zusia Smith, 2:32.75. And in third place, Natalie Cooper in 2:33.19. Again, not getting confirmation of that one though, Robert.
No. Interesting that none of these girls or ladies got under their entry time. About a 6-second gap between fastest and slowest. And that's what we found, as I said, during most of the meet. A lot of the swimmers a few seconds over their entry time because they're probably still very much in hard training. It's all about practicing these heats for the future events that are maybe coming up in the next few weeks.
Result was confirmed there.
Yeah.
And Natalie Cooper actually confirmed in second place, so her time adjusted there to promote her to second position. And there's heat number 3 on the way. Isla Gilmurray, that pink cap of Dundee City Aquatic over there, right at the top in lane number 0. We have Kirsty Gilmore, South Lanarkshire in 1. Coco Croxford, the 15-year-old we were talking about earlier, she goes in lane number 2. One of 4 15-year-olds in this one actually, Isla Gilmurray, another of those 15-year-olds. Heidi Wren goes to City of Glasgow in lane number 3. Lauren Bradley Holt from Stirling University in 4. Another 15-year-old, Kiana Kurtzer from Warren de Baths in 5. Next to another 15-year-old, Melissa Menny, South Lanarkshire in 6. Safrina Machin, City of Glasgow in 7. Georgina Hawkins from Fauldhouse goes in lane number 8. And right at the bottom of your picture is Chloe McLean from Dundee City Aquatic. So again, we're into the seeded heats already of this 200 backstroke. Lauren Bradley Holt, the fastest in terms of entry time, 2:17.18. She is just behind at the minute. Looks like it is Melissa Menny who has taken up the running here in lane number 6 as they come to the halfway point. Kiana Kurtzer maybe just in second position. Lauren Bradley Holt in third place now. In fact, just, well, not getting the captions. Well, we've got a rogue time on our scoreboard here, but
Melissa Menny, I think 1:10.22 is the leader.
And look at that, the 4 swimmers all queuing up
They are.
to attack Melissa Menny here, who's the leader, and I think maybe Lauren Bradley Holt has gone through very strongly, taking Heidi Wren with her here. The swimmers in 4 and in lane number 3. And it looks like a good contest. Look at them, almost in unison as they come into the final turn.
Heidi Wren now takes it
good
up.
turn. Look at that work underwater, Robert, from Heidi Wren.
Yeah,
that was
she's
really good.
She is super at her underwater work on backstroke. This is really her key event. She was the junior champion at the 1500 so far, and she'll want to ensure she's the junior champion in this one if she can. She's certainly going to be in the A final quite comfortably. It's a very commanding advantage she has, and a very solid swim from Heidi. And comes in at 2:24.30. Lauren Bradley Holt 2:26.36 and Coco Coxford 2:26.89. Well, Heidi Wren entry time of 2:19. So she's still got little bit left in the tank for this evening. Doing more than enough to qualify. Kenna Kirkser on 2:28.68. That might be sort of borderline for making a final, Paul.
3 on 2:26 range there. Might be enough for that A final. Possibly 2 heats to come. Not fast swimmers, but we haven't seen all the swimmers, as you said, Robert, hit those entry times. So yeah, 2:26, the top 3 might be there or thereabouts.
I think that should be good enough. Yeah, realistically, that probably will be good enough. So Nadine Wilson in 0 from Borough of Stockton. 1 is Zara Kravitz, East Lothian Swim Team. 2, Zoe Crawford from first. 3, Rebecca Reid, Aberdeen. 4, Ellis Shields, Edinburgh University. 4, Melissa Mainwaring, Swim West Lothian. 6, Megan Donovan, City of Peterborough. 7, Phoebe Abercle, Warner Bass Clubs. 8, Emma McGavin, South Lanarkshire. And 9, Madison Cool, University of Aberdeen Performance. Well, look for Megan Donovan on a 2:20.40, the City of Peterborough swimmer in lane 6. I certainly see her being in the top 3. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody like Zara Kravitz tries to find something close to her entry time, and if she can, it wouldn't surprise me if she sneaked into a final on a 2:25.10. Lots of juniors in this one, and also a few juniors to follow in the final heat, so we could have quite a few juniors in the A final, Paul, who are vying not necessarily just for the junior title, but maybe even a medal.
Yeah, well, you never know. As we were talking about yesterday afternoon about some of the younger swimmers taking part, there was a couple of 12-year-olds taking part yesterday, and pretty much there's no kind of lower age limit. If you are fast enough, you're old enough to compete.
Indeed. Well, already Melissa Mainwaring has decided that she's going to go out fairly strongly, but the leader is Ellie Shields by some margin, 1:06.42. Melissa Mainwaring, Rebecca Reid, probably looking good enough at this stage to guarantee a final berth. Zoe Crawford and Zara Kravitz in 2 and 1. Thereabouts, Megan Donovan and Phoebe Abercle in 6 and 7. Those 4 swimmers just mentioned all got work to do to try and get into a final. I think we're looking at Rebecca Reid and Melissa Mainwaring at the moment potentially there. Ella Shields is a nail on a 1:41.
Yeah, absolutely. She's dominating this one, isn't she? Ella
She
Shields
certainly is.
really going strongly. 35 point for that previous 50, a couple of seconds faster than anyone else in the field. So Ella Shields laying down the marker here for the heat to come.
We talked about Big Brother. This is Big Sister, Paul. And we'll have Little Sister very shortly in the next one. Ella Shields. Wow, that's a very, very solid swim. 2:17.45. Not much between Rebecca and Melissa. 2:27.15.
Not much. Look at that. 1/100th. That's not much.
Ain't a lot. No, that won't get them into final, Paul. I'm pretty sure that will probably sneak them into final at 2:27.
Well, they've got the Lion 5th and 6th.
That puts them 5th and 6th, yep. And Zara Kravitz, well, she might sneak in on a 2:29.32. She's in 4th in that heat. Good swim, nevertheless, from the East Lothian swimmer. So our final heat. 0, Lucy Atherton, Heart of Midlothian. 1, Natalie Marshall, Swim West Lothian. 2, Alex McGill, Gateshead and Wickham. 3, wee sister of Amy of Ellis is Amy Shields, City Glasgow. 4, Olivia Butler, Edinburgh University. 5 is Millie Wells, Telford. 6, Susie McNair, Stirling Sound. 7, Ailey Armstrong, East Lothian Swim Team. 8, Maya Cheshire, Elgin. And 9, Catherine Bodie, Geary. Well, I do expect lanes 3, 4 and 5, the middle lanes, to be in that final. Question of whether Susie McNair can get in there from lane 6 or anyone else. Alex McGill, also from Gateshead and Wickham, might have an opportunity to get there. We don't have Natalie Marshall in lane 1 swimming. We've got 6 swimmers all off to a strong start. Ailey Armstrong in 7, Susie McNair 6, Millie Wells 5, Olivia Butler 4, Amy Shields 3 and Alex McGill in 2. It's Amy Shields, Olivia Butler in 4, Paul with the advantage just over Amy.
Yeah, good start for Olivia Butler there. Amy Shields just half a second behind and these two. But a little bit of an advantage over the rest of the field there. Alex McGill going pretty well there. 1 lane up from the leading 2 in lane number 2. And also Millie Wells not too far away in that centre lane. So at the moment it's those 4 that are stretching away as they come down to the halfway point. So we'll see how they go. Have the advantage, of course, of
what they've got to do.
What they've got to do for this one. So I reckon somewhere around about the low 227s should put them into that final. Olivia Butler looks like she's going to make sure of this one. She's going to get again on the backstroke. You got the advantage of being able to see the people along who are behind you. So Olivia Butler will know exactly where Amy Shields is. She'll know exactly where Millie Wells is. She'll be looking back at them, be able to see them if they're making an attack. But I think Olivia Butler's maybe going to just cruise this one in this final 50 and just make sure of that position to make that A final tonight. It's Amy Shields in 2nd, Millie Wells in 3rd, and as you said, Robert, you expected those top 3 to make the final, and that looks like what they're going to do.
Susie McNair's going to be in the final as well, Paul. I'll put my money on that one. A question of whether Gateshead and Wickham swimmer can find something special in the final stretch or whether she just drops back. She's going to be borderline for the final. Susie McNair, I am sure, on a strong finish will be in that final, but no doubt Olivia Butler 2:18.72, no problem for her. Amy Shields 2:20.99 and Millie Wells 2:21.36. Susie McNair comfortably in 2:24.96.
Your money's safe, Robert.
Alex McGill 2:29.32. I'm not sure whether that was faster than Zara Kravitz.
I think Zara Kravitz might just have missed out again. Is she going to be in 11th possibly? We'll find out in a second.
2:29.32 Zara Kravitz, who might have sneaked in.
Well, Susie McNair in 4th place will certainly be in, and we'll check the top 10 here. Yeah, it was 2:27, so the 2:29's just missing out. Almost a tie there. Kiana Kurtzer on 2:28, Melissa Menny as well. So just missing out on those top positions there, on those final positions. Caitlin Peebles just in 21st position. She'll be one of the reserves, hoping for some withdrawals for that final tonight. And as we said, that could well happen as we go through to the 48 swimmers who took part. And we move on to the men's first of the 5 heats of this one. There's the lineup: Rowan Brown from Elgin, next to his teammate Taylor Sinclair, and next to another Elgin swimmer, Fraser McLaughlin. So 3 Elgin swimmers in 1, 2 and 3. Connor Aspinall back in the water again, a 14-year-old from East Lothian in lane number 4. Jake Ferguson from first in lane 5, and 2 from Borough of Stockton in 6 and 7. That's Ben Swan and Charlie Ward. So it's almost the Elgin Club Championships here. The 16-year-olds in lanes 1, 2 and 3. Borough of Stockton also with a couple of their swimmers going head to head here. Charlie Ward, the younger of the 2 Borough of Stockton swimmers, getting off to a good start, and leading the Elgin Challenge is Taylor Sinclair.
Yeah, only separated by just over a second, 1.1 seconds, the 3 Elgin boys. Lane 4, Connor Aspinall, the baby of the field at 14. He's gone off pretty well, 32, 38. And upside him, Taylor Sinclair from Elgin, with his teammate Rowan Brown. over in lane 1, maybe just in 3rd place. Those two Elgin swimmers almost together. Conor Aspinall still with the advantage at halfway pole. About a body length. Good to get as much off the wall as you can. A really good turn in lane 5 from Jake Ferguson from first as Ben Swan also comes through.
You wouldn't discount any of the top 4 at the minute there. They
Not
look
really.
like they're stretching away from the others in this field, so leaving the Elgin boys to contest their own battle there on the far side. In the centre there, Conor Aspinall still with the lead, but Jake Ferguson beginning to make a little bit of an impression here. We'll just check the splits as they go over this final turn. Aspinall had the lead at the halfway point, and it's Ferguson who's taking up the running now. And you just see the splits there. Ferguson a second faster than Aspinall. And Aspinall came out of the wall pretty well here.
He did
I wonder
indeed.
if he's going to fight for this one down this last length with Jake Ferguson. It looks like it is going to be Aspinall coming back. Ferguson's not giving up though. It's a good tussle between these two at the front of the field here. Aspinall in 4, Ferguson in 5. Aspinall, I think, might just have it now as they come under the flags. And we'll just check the time for Conor Aspinall, the youngster, the 14-year-old. Bang on his entry time, Robert.
Yep, that's a pretty solid swim from Conor. Jake Ferguson gave him a good contest, 2:24.52, about a second over his entry time. And Ben Swan and Charlie Ward, the two Borough Stockton swimmers, 3rd and 4th. And as we said, none of these swimmers actually improve on any of their entry times. As we move on to the second of the 5 heats. 0 we have Kai Connolly, City Glasgow. 1 Jamie Gilchrist, South Lanarkshire. Teammate Scott Fleming goes in 2, Nikolai Sisnett, City Glasgow 3, teammate David Landman in 4, 5 Carl McKenzie, Perth City, 6 Richard Laws, Cooper District, 7 Luke Scott, Dumfries, 8 is Nathan Wilson from Carnegie, and 9 Robbie Boyd, Warner Bass Club. 2:18.80 to 2:23.14. Good to see a few under 2:20 here, Paul.
You were telling me before, Robert, that Nikolai Sisnett would impress you at the Snags meet.
Yeah.
With its number of titles that he won. Was that a 13-year-old?
Only 13, yeah. Winning events from probably hundreds right up to 1,500 metres. So he's been swimming since at district level and some other meets, and improving on some of these times that he did a way back 3 months ago. So good talent to look forward to. And he's already got off to a fairly good start in this one in second place, 31.90, chasing Scott Fleming, who's also travelling very nicely indeed in lane 2. Nicholas Sisnett and Scott Fleming have pulled well clear at this early stage, Paul.
Yeah, the youngster, as you said, Robert, the 13-year-old Scott Fleming, South Lanarkshire swimmer, 17 years of age. And these two have the lead over the rest of the field, a significant lead as well. Didn't look like Scott Fleming was a whole second ahead of Nikolai Sisnett there at that turn, but as they come into the second half of this one, Sisnett just trying to keep pace with Fleming in 3rd position. It looks like it might be Robbie Boyd right down here at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, he's going pretty well in 3rd place in lane 9. But Scott just with a little bit of advantage, but not a lot. 1:42.73, it's about 3/4 of a second, and both of them out the turn. Almost a similar length off the turn, but Scott Fleming now just trying to get to work and try and pull away from Sisnett. I think he's just going to manage to do that. Scott Fleming with entry time of 2:21.30. Looks he's going to come inside that by maybe a second or two. And he'll be pleased getting under 2:20. Nikolai Sisnett, as I say, entry time of 2:20.58. Improves by about half a second, Paul, and that's what I've noticed over the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, just chipping away at those times.
Yeah, just improving. But that's what you expect for swimmers at sort of 12, 13, 14. They'll chip away, but they'll get a point where it doesn't happen for months and months, and you shouldn't worry about it. It's peaks and troughs. For a lot of these swimmers today, they're swimming 2 or 3 seconds slower than their entry time, and they might swim for another 6 months or longer before all of a sudden they take 3 seconds off that time, and they wonder, where did that come from? And sometimes we say, where did that come from? So on to heat number 3.
Spectacular entrance into the water by Calvin MacDonald there.
So we have empty lane in lane number 0. 1, Logan van der Meulen, Stirling Swimming. 2, Ethan Stewart, South Lanarkshire. 3, Pierce Greening. 4, Zach Speakman. 4, Angus Allison, all from Stirling University. 6 is Jacob Wood from Elgin. Fantastic start in lane 4 from Zach Speakman. 7, Cal MacDonald, University of Aberdeen Performance. 8 is Tom Armitage, Highland Swim Team. And 9, Greg Hall, University of Aberdeen Performance. We'll look for Speakman out the turn, just see how far he gets off the wall here. And you can see when he surfaces, it's virtually 13 metres, Paul. That's how to negotiate turns on backstroke.
Yeah, look at the lead that he's got here. Comes down to the halfway point. Of course, the turn's vitally important, certainly on a 200. Come much more into play in the hundreds, of course. A few more turns, a few more advantages to be gained if you can just work on your turns. Speakman, of course, is part of that record-breaking relay team from last night. The Stirling University relay squad who set that new club record, smashed the club record yesterday in the freestyle relay, but they had a top squad, didn't they?
They did.
It's always going to be on the cards.
Yeah, I think it was Duncan Scott, Katie Shanahan, and
Lucy Hope. Yep,
yeah.
And Zach Speakman as well.
Yeah.
Second leg, and he is, well, stretching away here. 1:32.47 at the 1:50 mark. He has a lead of about 3.5 seconds or so over Angus Allison, who forewent the 400 freestyle to swim in this 200 backstroke. He's not going to catch that Speakman, no. We'll just keep an eye again on the time, see what we might be looking for, to see if anyone's going to make that A final. This will maybe set the standard. Looks like these top 2 might be safe enough into that final, Robert. Speakman just eases up.
No problem with those 2. Maybe something like a 2:15 or better might ensure a final position. I think Greening's fine, 2:13.11. Jacob Wood will be possibly on the borderline. Ethan Stewart and Logan van der Meulen in 2:17s. They'll get a second swim, no problem about that. Ethan Stewart, Logan van der Meulen will certainly be in the B final, probably along with Scott Fleming and Nikolai Sisnett perhaps. So we'll move on to the penultimate heat. In 0, Liam Gorzinski, Montefief. 1, we've got Louis Lawler, City Glasgow. 2, Joseph Martin, Derwentside. 3, Lucas Brown, Elgin. 4, Jamie Ferguson, University of Aberdeen Performance. 5 is Lewis Maxwell, Derwentside. 6, Andrew Brodie from Aberdeen Dolphins. 7, Jack Docherty Simpson from Scotia. They've done it to me again. In 8, we've got Jack Simpson from South Lanarkshire. And 8, Robbie Thompson from Shetland. I get this quite frequently at West Districts. I have Jack Docherty Simpson and I have Jack Simpson, and they've got them in the same heat, side by side. Well, I don't think I've had it at national level, but there's always a first.
Well, there you go. Jack Docherty Simpson 8-7. Jack Simpson is 8. We'll need to remember that. Let's see who is going to take the initiative in this one. Jamie Ferguson looking good. Lewis Maxwell in lane number 5 as well. Those 2 in the centre lanes are leading them through. Lane number 3 is Lucas Brown from Elgin. Louis Lawler's the Scottish record holder in this one in his para swimming class. 2:15.89 for Louis Lawler. That's the target that he's got to aim for. So keep an eye on Louis Lawler's time there. And in the centre of the pool though, Jamie Ferguson and Lewis Maxwell just stretching it out, trying to make sure they're placed in the final. We saw Jacob Woodrob at that 2:16.20. So anything inside of that,
yeah, I think
that'll be enough.
Yeah, I would say that would be enough to get into a final. It's interesting. When I watch Jamie Ferguson, ex-Midlothian swimmer, and I see that green cap of Jack Docherty-Simpson from Scotia. I've mentioned it's great to see a wide range of clubs from Scotland competing. Wee clubs like Forfar taking part. Great to see them competing. But I can't recall having had anyone from Midlothian this weekend, Paul. That's why I haven't seen many green caps.
No, I can't think of any Midlothian.
So they might be giving this one a miss and concentrating on the summer and the British Championships for some of the swimmers. Anyway, Jamie Ferguson, Lewis Maxwell, looking pretty comfortable. They're in the final without any problem at all. Maybe not quite so fast as the previous heat, but just doing enough to qualify. 2:08.70, 2:08.90. Third place, Joseph Martin and Jack Docherty-Simpson. I think will be in a final, Paul. Lucas Brown from Elgin, 2:16.82, might miss out. Andrew Bodie and Liam Gorzinski, I think they'll be talking B finals for those lads. I think Lou Lawler on a 2:22.24 will not be with us this evening. Jack Simpson, who knows whether that will get him into a final. I don't think so. I think Liam Gorzinski is in the border position for getting into a final this evening. 0, Corey Phillip, Dundee City Aquatics. 1, Owen Williamson, East Lothian Swim Team. 2, Greer van den Meulen, Stirling Swimming. 3, Callum Peebles, East Lothian Swim Team. 4, Jordan McPhail, Edinburgh University. And 5, Neddy Irwin, National Centre Limerick. 6, Thomas Maskell, Derwentside. 8, Nathan Campbell, Stirling Swimming. And 7, Nathan Campbell, Stirling Swimming. 8 is Kyle Mitchell from Gary. And 9, Jay Manners from Derwentside. Well, this might be a wee bit faster, Paul, so we might find that at 2:15 they have to go a wee bit faster. It might have to be a 2:13, 2:14.
Well, I think 2:14.99 for Jack Docherty-Simpson. My calculations, I think he's about in 7th place with that one. So if 3 swimmers are faster than him, he'll make it into the final. 4 swimmers are faster, he's not going to make it. So we'll see how these ones go along. Jordan McPhail off to a good start. Neddy Irwin, we saw him start very well in the 100 backstroke actually, Neddy Irwin yesterday. And Jordan McPhail and Callum Peebles in lane number 3, they lead them to that first turn, just 6 100s ahead of Neddy Irwin. 4th place is Greer van den Meulen. Again, the Van den Meulens had a good tussle as well.
Yeah.
In that 100 backstroke, then the 2 brothers separated by, what was it, 0.1 of a second or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Logan and Greer. Well, I wouldn't say it's super fast, Paul, but it's the 5 swimmers over, or the 6, 5 swimmers over on the other side. Lanes 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. 1 to 5. McPhail and Irwin, 2 middle lanes, looking pretty comfortable at the moment. And Greer van den Meulen, along with Callum Peebles, kind of fancy that they've got every opportunity of also being sub 2:15 to get into the final this evening. Thomas Maskell making a move to try and get himself into the picture along with Jay Manners. Jordan McPhail looks pretty comfortable now, Paul.
Yeah, looking pretty good here. He'll secure his place in the final, I'm sure. Looking very relaxed indeed as he comes into the closing stages of this one. Eddie Irwin should be safe enough as well, I think, as will Callum Peebles be. And into the wall comfortably, just under the 210 mark for Jordan McPhail. It is second for Irwin, third for Callum Peebles. They should be safe enough. And I think that Jack Doherty-Simpson might just have sneaked in there,
I think
possibly.
Is safe.
As the last swimmer, there we go. Callum Peebles, Eddie Irwin, Jordan McPhail. That is the top three.
Yeah,
Jay Manners, I think, should be in the B final with that one. 2:16.03 for Jay Manners. Here's the lineup. Yeah, Jack Doherty-Simpson it was. Got that final spot in the top 10. Jay Manners just missing out there. With Andrew Brody making it into that B final. 2:18.20. Owen Williamson missing out by 17/100ths. But again, any withdrawals? You go down to 4 reserves, I think, isn't it?
I think it's four reserves.
Scott Fleming being the 4th reserve at this stage.
Yeah. So that's all the heats for the individual events done and dusted, Paul. We move on to the medleys and
freestyle.
The freestyle.
Really.
Medley really to follow, but it's the freestyle. First of all, mixed 4x50. So this will be pretty fast and furious. 7 teams go in the first heat. Inverclyde B in 1, First in 2, Stirling Swimming B in 3, Aberdeen Dolphins A team in 4, Dumfries in 5, Elgin in 6, and Geary go in 7.
I feel like these mixed relays are a test for us, Robert, because there'll be a mix of genders. A lot of the teams going with their 2 male swimmers first, but a number of the teams putting a female swimmer in on the second leg and finishing with a male swimmer on the final leg. Aberdeen Dolphin lead them through 24.05 for that first swim. Stirling Swim in second and Dumfries in third, but it's a good start for Aberdeen Dolphin. The 2 male swimmers out ahead.
Commanding advantage, so they'll keep their fingers crossed the girls can pull this one back. Both both Stirling and Dumfries have ladies finishing them off, so you kind of fancy that the Aberdeen Dolphins team, if the ladies can keep this going, will be a strong fancy to take this one. Looking good at the moment.
Again, it's a heat swim, of course, so the top 10 will make it to that 8th final out of the 3 heats. Aberdeen Dolphin trying to make sure of that place. They go into the last leg with a big lead. Dumfries in second, Stirling Swim in third position. And now the chase is on. Aberdeen Dolphin in lane number 4. And 1 lane up, Stirling Swim on that final leg swimmer. Anna Lee giving chase to Aberdeen Dolphin. Final swimmer Maya Reynard, but it is going to be Maya Reynard who's going in here. And the positions are not going to change for the top 3. Dumfries just clipping second place with Stirling Swim in third. So we'll keep an eye on those times if the results are confirmed. So 2 teams under the 150 mark, with Stirling Swim just bang on 150.
Of course, because we have 3 heats, they're all seeded, Paul, which makes it a wee bit easier for us, or it should be. In lane 1, we have
guarantee.
No guarantee, Paul. In lane 1, we have the Cooper B team. In lane 2, the Cooper A team. In lane number 3, we have Marlins. In 4, the National Centre Limerick. In 5, Aberdeen Dolphins junior team. They might be faster than their senior team, but we'll see how that one goes. In 6, we've got the Wren team. 7 is Inverclyde. So again, most of them front loading it with the guys early doors. pretty level start. Dolphins with Dean Fern, Finn McGeever for Limerick. It's Dolphins in 5 and Limerick in 4.
Yeah, more swimmers putting their more teams putting their female swimmers on in the second leg in this heat here. Aberdeen Dolphin have gone with the two male swimmers, so they've got their 2 females to finish. So might see some teams catching them up in the closing stages here. Also, Marland have gone with their male swimmers as well. So they'll have female swimmers to finish. So the 2 male swimmers are in first and second at the minute, but can things change about here? Limerick looking good here in 3rd position. It's all female swimmers for this 3rd length, and Aberdeen Dolphin going really well with the 3rd leg swimmer, and that's Lisa Clubb on the 3rd leg for the Dolphin team.
Kirsty Breakin will try and bring them home, but we know how good Magnus Morris is for Wren in lane 6. But we've also got Brogan McAvenny for Limerick. At the moment, coming very strongly through in lane number 4 is Brogan McAvenny, and looks like Limerick have got this one just timed perfectly. Kirsty Breakin will have to settle for second for the Dolphins, but Limerick take that. 145.85. Aberdeen Dolphins 147.04 and Wren 147.73. I think they're all comfortable for the final, Paul.
Yeah, I think so. So again, the top 3 to be comfortably in under the 150 mark there. 145.85, the winning time there. So it looks like 150 might just be the target here to try and make the A final. Here's the teams for the final heat. Swim IT, University of Aberdeen Performance Junior Team. South Ayrshire Junior Team, who won the title last night. The junior team from South Ayrshire, swam in the afternoon. University of Aberdeen Performance A Team. Stirling Swim A Team. Geary go in line number 6, and Shetland A Team go in lane number 7. So it could be an interesting one here. Can any other teams dip under the 150 mark? Good start in lane number 4. University of Aberdeen Performance, Lewis Burrell off to a good start for them, and they will lead over Stirling Swim in 2nd position. Looks like Greer van der Meulen handing over to Logan van der Meulen. So the team's going with their 2 male swimmers up front. I think practically everyone has gone with their male swimmers at the front of the field. A couple of the teams at the back of the field at the moment going with a female swimmer on the 2nd leg. Aberdeen Performance, Tom Bailey handed over to Emily Grant, and they look like they're away and clear. Stirling Swim with Perry Scobie on that 3rd length, looking in a good position at the minute. Coming back now in lane number 2 is Madison Cole for the University of Aberdeen junior team, just holding off the challenge of Sophie Stale. The 2 junior teams going side by side draw, but this could be vital if one makes the A final and one doesn't. Then
indeed
that could be decisive in terms of who the junior champions are. So real fight between the 2 junior teams here at the top of the screen, but away and clear in the middle is University of Aberdeen Performance, and they are going to take this one very comfortably indeed. Look at that margin of victory for the Aberdeen team. Here's the battle here between South Ayrshire and the University of Aberdeen Performance team. They come in together.
0.15. I think they're both in the final, Paul, because they're both sub 150. They might have both got into the final, which would be nice to see if they're there. They'll be in outside lanes if that's the case, so they won't actually know what they've got to do other than swim extremely fast.
Well, that's the aim.
Yeah. And
they might be side by side. They might be split, possibly by a team. There we go. University of Aberdeen performance. Mary Mischenko getting in 142.04. That looked good for this Aberdeen performance team.
And there we have, well, 150.45 Stirling also into the final.
So it was 150. And the junior teams will progress to that final. So we'll have a contest for that junior title, won't we?
Look forward this evening, yeah. Always good to have at least a couple of teams in either an A or a B final. The way it works, even if you're in the A final and you swim slower than a swimmer who's in the B final, it doesn't matter, because you're in the A final, you will be the junior champions. So we move on to the medley relay now. Geary in 1, Cooper and District in 2, Dumfries in 3, Edinburgh University B team in 4, Aberdeen Dolphins A team in 5, Aberdeen Performance B in 6, National Centre Limerick in 7, and First in 8.
The medley relay, of course, in the mixed relay is a little bit of a different dimension, because you can't choose to put your female swimmers out first or your male swimmers out first. You put your backstrokers out first.
Yeah, and you work out whether you want a male or a female backstroker or a female backstroke breaststroker. It's a little bit more scientific, this one. And Aberdeen Performance in lane 7, just in lane 6 rather, just with a slight advantage. And mostly guys doing breaststroke, Paul, in lane number 3. Dumfries coming through strongly, Rory Webster, and they're going to take it up. They'll pass over to Georgia Dickey to do the butterfly section.
Yeah, Dumfries looking good at this stage.
They are indeed.
But again, Georgia Dickey will be going against a couple of guys on the lanes inside her. Edinburgh University and Aberdeen Dolphin. Limerick with Roisin Miriam going in. Another female swimmer trying to keep tabs on those teams inside of her. And the two male swimmers going out really fast in the centre now, Robert. They have got that advantage. And it looks like Edinburgh University with a male swimmer on the final leg as well.
Yeah,
well, they'll be the favourites.
They've gone out with the two girls. Literally every team on the butterfly had a lady in. But this is Edinburgh University having gone out with the two girls, storming through to take this. They have about a 10-second advantage on entry times in this heat. And 154.23, a lot slower. And we might have expected. 148 was roughly what they were in at. Well, maybe 2 minutes will be the borderline for some of these teams. Just over 2 minutes for, is that Dumfries in third place, Paul?
Yeah, I think it might be
2:59.
Yeah, Dumfries there in third place. Oh, we do have a DQ there, Robert. It is the Limerick team who have been disqualified in that one. Didn't affect the top 3 places.
No.
So 2:02.46 in third place for Dumfries might well be the. They'll have a chance of making that final as we go on to the second heat. Inverclyde go in 1, Geary in 2, Aberdeen Dolphin in 3. The A team for Edinburgh University and the C team for Edinburgh University, they go in 4 and 5. South Ayrshire A team in 6. Ren 96 go in lane number 7, and the Cooper B team go in lane number 8. But junior team there from Aberdeen Dolphin?
Yeah, I think South Ayrshire are back in the pool again, not having had long to recover. It's the same 4 swimmers.
Junior team for them?
Junior team for them in lane 6. So most of the guys are doing this. Anna Black for Cooper and District, but it's guys all the way apart from Edinburgh University C team, Ellis Shields for them in lane 5. So lanes 3 and 4, Aberdeen Dolphins, Dean Fern and Edinburgh University Stephen Clegg. No real surprise to see them out. And again, most of the teams front loading it with the guys, but Edinburgh University, their C team, I've got the girls going in first and second. Interesting tactics, Paul.
Well, they'll have a good finish, that's for sure, but they've got to be in contention there. Charlie Trotman going on the second leg for the Edinburgh University team. And for Aberdeen Dolphin, it was Archie Smith. It is Archie Smith in the water right at this minute. Trotman hands over with a lead to Faith Yuda, goes on the butterfly. It looks like it is Kirsty Breakin on that butterfly leg for Aberdeen Dolphin. In lane number 6, South Ayrshire. They have handed over. Ailey Robertson is in on the butterfly. They will have Sophie Steele on that final leg. And Edinburgh University C team coming back as well. Ben Carr and Bruno Kempster will go on the final 2 legs, so they should come through very strongly on this freestyle, Robert.
Well, they were 8 seconds back on the A team. They're 4.5 back with freestyle to come, but that's a big ask to pull 4.5 seconds in the final 50. They're certainly closing a bit, but they've left themselves a wee bit too much to do. Abigail Stark will bring the A team through. Bruno Kempster for the C team in second. And Aberdeen Dolphins, Ulster Club, their junior team, comfortably in the final, as will be South Ayrshire on a 2:02.41, I think, Paul.
Yeah, I think so. It was 2:02.46 was third place in the last one, so they've just edged that one by 5 100ths. So South Ayrshire doing a good job here. 1:59.34 for third position, so they're fourth. So the line about 7th, no 6th actually. So that's probably good enough, I would think, for South Ayrshire. But we'll wait and see what happens on this final heat. And there's the teams. Glenrothes A team going 1. Elgin A team. Stirling Swim A team. University of Aberdeen Performance A team. Stirling B team. Shetland A team and Inverclyde B team. And this nearest lane to us. And again, all but one of the swimmers, or the male swimmers, starting us off. Emily Grant going in lane number 5 for Aberdeen Performance. She's got a good start, Emily Grant, didn't she?
Has indeed, yeah.
Absolutely mixing it with the guys there at the start of this 50 metres backstroke and the start of this medley relay. Shetland going well in lane number 7 though, and also right up there in lane number 2. It looks like it might be Elgin will bring them into the wall first. Lucas Brown Stirling in second and in third, so 27.79, a good start from Lucas Brown.
Again, most of the guys will be coming through later. Most of the girls in this one on breaststroke.
Yeah, but in the centre lane is one of the guys in lane number 5. It's Conor Massey. After that good start from Emily Grant, has brought University of Aberdeen Performance through into first position. Kieran Lennox will be hoping to maintain that advantage. And in for Stirling Swim. In lane number 3, it looks like Coco Croxford going in there for Stirling in second position. Very close for third place, but it might be the Stirling Swim B team. Ben Montgomery will hand over to Anna Lee. So it's 2 female swimmers for the Stirling teams on that final leg. But it looks like University of Aberdeen Performance are going to take this one. Mary Mischenko again on the final leg. We saw that in the freestyle relay just a short time ago. Yeah. She's coming in, bring that University of Aberdeen Performance team home. In front, we'll just check the time, see how it compares to the other heats. I think it might be the fastest we've seen here. 1:52.61. I think it is faster than any of the other 2 heats, followed home by Stirling Swim just on the 2-minute mark, and 2:02 for Stirling Swim B team, with 2:02.92 for Elgin. That might just miss out, you know. I think the 2 Stirling teams might be in, but Elgin might just miss out on that A final, but we'll wait and see. That dominant swim at the front there, Robert, 152.61. They're going to be tough to beat, I think.
Yeah.
Versus the Aberdeen performance. I don't know, there might be some change arounds in the teams, possibly, for tonight.
I think you're absolutely right. I think Elgin just miss out. It's the Dumfries team, junior team, that just scrape in. That's your result.
So we've got the top 10, yeah, Dumfries,
Dumfries
you're right, Robert. Yeah, well done.
And you're absolutely correct with Elgin just missing out. I don't think there'll be any withdrawals, not for the relays. It's virtually all of them are Scottish-based clubs. They will not want to pull out of that.
Swim offs now to come. Been looking forward to these, Robert.
We are indeed. It's an interesting one. Tom Robertson, Brodie Gordon-Gibson. This is for the men's butterfly. Both these guys incidentally finished in, I think it was 11th place. So
11th place, so this is for the reserve spot?
This is potentially for the reserve slot for the final. Should someone pull out.
What were their times in the heats, Robert?
I'll just get that for you, Paul.
Oh, good.
It was 56.99.
56.99 for these 2.
And we know what's going to happen, don't we? They'll either just showboat and then go for it in the last 20 metres.
Kind of like the cycling pursuit.
Yeah.
Where you just wait for your opponent to make your move.
Yeah.
Quite interesting to do swim-offs like that.
I'm pretty sure both these guys will be giving it everything. 2 18-year-olds, Brodie Gordon-Gibson and Tom Robertson. Brodie Gordon with the red cap, Paul, and the white cap of Aberdeen Dolphins, Tom Robertson.
Yeah, it looks like it's Brodie Gordon-Gibson with the edge here as they come into the turn. Let's see what the margin is between the 2 of them.
Oh, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
About a second and a half, but Tom Robertson is able to come back here. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of fight in the closing stages of this one. Tom Robertson trying to come back. He doesn't want to give this one away. Brodie Gordon-Gibson is holding on though. Not sure there's much that Robertson can do at this stage. Gordon-Gibson has got this one, I think. It's going to be the red cap of Warrender into the wall first. We'll just check the time here. 56.04. Big improvement for him. And that's done it, hasn't it? Good swim from Brodie Gordon-Gibson. Tom Robertson just slightly slower than he was. And I think he felt the writing was on the wall there in the last 5.
I think so, Paul. Well, freestyle. We've got Anna Lawson and Mary Wood, who were also joint 11th, Paul, on a 27.84. And the other 2 ladies, Madison Cool, Alwyn Cook, were joint 22nd on a 28.22. So second and third reserve, and effectively first reserve for the final. So there might be a wee delay here. We're just double checking marshalling area. We've certainly got Anna and Mary in lanes 2 and 3, and Madison and Alwyn are due to go in lanes 6 and 7. Girls should be down at the marshalling area, but it might be that one of the swimmers hasn't shown, and if that's the case, the other swimmer will automatically be our second reserve if that's what the position is, if we haven't yet had any withdrawals. But
No.
so they'll probably just give it another few seconds just to check. But Paul, you'll be well versed that there are regulations that you've got to be down at the call room within a specific time, and if you're not there, you miss your swim.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the published call room times are out prior to the session, so it's a little bit different for the swim-offs. There will be kind of time scales put on at the coaches. As you said earlier, Robert, there'll be a shout out for the coaches for the different
I think
teams, and the coaches will be made aware of the rules and regulations and what time they have to report. And I think we've got everyone now.
Yeah, it looks like both the girls have actually turned up. Maybe they just hadn't reported to the correct area, but they're both there.
So they go in 6 and 7, Madison Cool and Alwyn Cook, and Anna Lawson and Marie Wood go in 2 and 3. So one race, but it's 2 different swim-offs here. So it is quite often say that in the distance races, it's 2 races in one. They've split, but this is actually 2 races in one.
It is 2 races in one.
So on the far side to us, Anna Lawson in 2, Marie Wood in 3, and on the near side, Madison Cool in 6 and Alwyn Cook in 7. Alwyn Cook looks like she has the edge of this one in the near side. Who is going to take the far side battle? Marie Wood possibly just with the edge. Anna Lawson coming back now. Anna Lawson takes it all by 1/100th, Robert. Anna Lawson, we were almost on for another swim off there. And Alwyn Cook takes that one. She was always in control of that one ahead of Madison Cool. But Anna Lawson, what a swim that was.
Yeah, 28.03 and 27, 57 and 58 respectively.
Well, that would have been good. What would we have? Would we have to postpone our lunch to wait for another swim off there?
Yeah, we could have been here all day, Paul, if there had been another swim off. Well, that's it. That's the morning session complete. Thanks very much for joining Paul and myself. Try and join us for the afternoon session. It's the double duo back here again for this afternoon. We're here at 1:10, so if you can join us, please do so. From Paul Noble and myself, Robert Taylor, thanks for joining us at Tollcross this morning.